Greetings, everyone. This is the Hipster Snek, joined today by my good buddy, Titaku.
Hey man, don't you want to wear the flesh pods? Come on, man.
And this is an indie visual novel recommended to me by the devs of Omoneko called Historia. And one of the things they stressed is that the history of a conversation may not read the same as when you first read over it. So, this is a psychological horror visual novel.
Are you saying we're gonna have to read it and then look back at the history and read what we read already again?
We may need to. I don't know exactly how that's going to play in exactly.
Oh boy, this is gonna be Sayano Usa all over again.
Hopefully less outright garbage. Let's get started.
You mean less outright cannibalism?
Yeah. Like I said, less outright garbage. So, we're going to start
Gryffindor.
Doug, you better not
I'm sorry, that's that's just what I see when I think that.
Doug, you better not be in that game again. Dad's voice booms to the house. I can swear that I heard the glasses rattle in the kitchen. Bet he's been drinking again.
No, Dad. No, Dad, you can't stop me. I love Grand Blue.
I love Grand Blue Fantasy.
Grand Blue granddaughter.
Oof. No, I'm studying. It's not entirely a lie. At least I'm not playing a game. I hurriedly open up a Wikipedia page before the door swings open. And show me. See? Dad's face remains in a sneer. I can tell that he's not buying it. If you think I was born yesterday, don't make me check your history. You're saying you don't trust me. Maybe we should check the history. No, we're good right now. How could I? I've known you since you were born. I feel my blood boiling. I've got too much going on to put up with Dad's crap tonight. Really got no clue, do you? I have more of a clue than you could ever imagine. Now show me your history. If you've been studying, it should be obvious. Reaches over and tries to open the browser history. I pull the power cord, we can reach the keyboard, and the screen goes dark. Whoops. Little prick, get out of here. Don't worry, I don't want to hang around with you in one of your moods. What's that supposed to mean? I ignore him, grab my backpack, and push past him, bumping the storage shelf on my way out the door. I knew it wasn't a huge room when I moved in, but it was better than sharing with my sister. I thought I'd get some privacy by sleeping in the old storeroom. My dad knows no boundaries. It's a pain. Where do you think you're going? None of your business. Damn right, it's my business. Get back here. Walk out the back door of the house, waving a farewell to my mother, who's trying to drown out our fight with her headphones. Feel sorry for her, but then again, it's her husband. Don't be too late. Door closes before I get the chance to reply. This is the third time this month that Dad has come home and started ranting before even saying hello. I have no idea what his deal is, but it pisses me off. No point in staying in the house and suffering. I pull my phone out of my bag and make a call. Yo, Doug, what's up? Max's cheerful tone pisses me off. Ever since he was a kid, he had his life together. We've been friends since we both moved here years ago. At the time, there weren't many families in Penrith, so you were friends with whomever was around. Back then, I didn't notice the difference in our families, but now it was painfully obvious. He never said anything about it, but I could tell. His dad drove a BMW, always a new model. His dad has the same Subaru for as long as I can remember. My dad has had the same Subaru for as long as I can remember. I had to sleep in a storeroom. Max practically has the whole floor of his house to himself. His dad is some kind of mining consultant? I guess that explained it. Need to blow off some steam. Can I come over? Sure thing. I've got nothing on. I'll download a movie, grab some Coke on the way. Okay, see you soon. I assume you mean the beverage and not the recreational substance.
Well, it came to my attention the other day that, a Belgian waffles with, some jam and some syrup is like 300 calories. 2 bumps, 0 calories.
Oh,
so
there's an argument to be made there. That's all the shaking
yeah,
you'll
I'm
be
just
doing.
saying.
You might actually burn some calories with all the shaking you'll be doing.
I can see time.
I went to Max's house, stopping at a convenience store on the way. Coke alone would be enough. I grabbed a bag of chips as well. Dude, it took you so long. Never mind, I got Hot Rod. It's hilarious. You seen it? I shake my head. You'll love it. Come on, let's get this party started. Ah, he has an ironic t-shirt on, so we know what we're dealing with here. That's one thing about Max. No crap. He knows what I want to do and just gets on with it. No dumb questions, no trying to make things better.
I'm going to call MC Moritz. No reason.
No reason. But his name's actually Doug. So
no one's going to get that.
No one's going to get that but us, and maybe if I have a German audience. Coke in a movie.
That's true.
Knows me too well. It's not like you to sneak out. You're usually too straight-laced. Yeah, I know. I had some pretty crap recently. Don't want to tell him about my dad's drinking or mom's ignorance of that fact. I just want to chill out. Things have a way of working themselves out. You'll get over it. Only a couple of months and then exams are over. I guess.
He's got pretty good taste in movies now that I look at his wall.
Yeah, not bad. Just think, when summer's over, you can be at university far away from your parents. And Natalia.
Can you tell what's on the far left?
Of his posters?
Yeah, on the left of the Fury Road.
It's Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I don't know which movie specifically that's from, but yeah, he has Jaws, Mad Max.
Considering that he doesn't have, Dolph Lundgren or, Wolverine there, I'd assume it's from the first one.
Probably. Don't worry, I'll look after her for you. You touch my sister and I'll kill you myself. Max punches me playfully. I'd like to see you try. Are you going to get some fancy university as well? Probably. Thinking about taking a gap year, though. Dad keeps bugging me about it. Why on earth are we talking about school? We're watching this movie or not? We're to get our laughs on. Sounds like a plan. Besides, if I start thinking about how hot your sister is, I won't be able to sleep. Shut up, you wanker. By the way, I'm reasonably confident this game is set in Australia. So if there are bad words, you gotta understand certain bad words are not actually considered all that bad here. You'll basically never hear wanker here in Snekberg. If you are from a foreign country, then apologize if it hurts your feelings, but also not sorry because I didn't write it.
Yeah, this is the difficulty I had with Koala. I'm like, she really isn't as foul-mouthed as she probably should be, considering that A, she's a farmer's daughter, and B, they say certain words, and a ranger has confirmed this, certain words that we consider incredibly uncouth. Oh my, I'm clutching my pearls. And they just say them.
Okay. We're already going crazy. So as we were sitting here talking, have you looked really closely down at the text box as we've been sitting here talking with Max?
Yes.
How it's like this weird frost keeps appearing? Well, guess what? Our history is already insane. Yeah, it's almost completely different. After the conversation with Dad, he starts monologuing now. I need to stop talking to myself. I have to sleep in a storeroom. I need to stop talking to myself. People will start to think the wrong thing. Should at least pretend to sing to myself. I walk restlessly through the streets in an attempt to burn off some of my anger. I think about the rage that burns inside my father, especially if he's drunk. I shake my head. I'm trying to think of a way to calm myself down, but there's nothing for me at home. Coke in a movie, maybe that's good enough. I guess that life can be pretty crap. I don't want to talk to anyone about my dad's drinking or mom's ignorance of the fact. I just want to chill out. Guess I'll just head home and watch Hot Rod. I only have to make it through the summer, then I'm away from my parents. My only regret's I'll be away from my sister. If anything were to happen to her, I'd never forgive myself. Climb back into my window, try not to make a sound, try to get my laughs on. Sounds like a plan. This is a completely different story happening here.
This is way more neurotic.
He's talking to himself and he's at home in the history, but in the present moment we're just talking to Max. The intro was all the same up to here.
Oh, do you think Max is all in our head?
Oh geez. This is already getting out of hand. Let's find out. Fine.
No, there are two of them.
I can see if you want it for yourself. I want to make a comeback, but I realize I've lost this fight. And I'm actually never really trying to make a move on Natalia. He's only doing it to get at me. But then again, that's probably his point. He's actually taking my mind off my troubles at home. Just put the damn movie on. Too easy to stir up. It's all that honor crap you got in your head. Don't worry, Uncle Max got the pill to chill your ills. Trust me, this is hilarious. This guy reminds me of Bacon Bits. I mean that in a good way. Keep saying that, but I don't see anything on your TV. Alright, don't get your knickers in a twist. Here we go. The movie's hilarious. Sounds like a plan. And then the history like cuts off. What is like? This is really making me question myself now. The movie's hilarious. Within minutes, I've forgotten my petulant father and his drunken rampages. In the back of my mind, I can see his point. It's my last year of high school. If I screw up now, it can ruin the rest of my life. That's my mistake to make, not his. Mom seems to get it. She keeps telling me to keep my head on straight and remember what's important. Like, the fact that the game is already messing with me and I've literally just started it. I know
the funny thing is, though, Professor...
What's that?
If it was not brought to your attention, do you think we would have noticed that, though?
I doubt it. I don't think I've checked the history, but all twice in Omoneko. So, yeah. Like... I like honestly like with a name like Historia, maybe I'd have been inclined at some point, but not in the prologue, not with like this movie's hilarious. In the minutes I've forgotten about my petulant father's drunken rampages. I can see his point. Okay, so this like part is basically the same, but it's still like him talking to himself. It's not Max is not even mentioned. This is gonna drive me slightly batty while playing this game.
I'm just saying, I'm calling it now. Max is entirely in our heads.
Max is our imaginary friend.
Max is our Tyler Durden, yes.
I try to be good. I don't drink or party like some of my friends, even though there's not much else to do out there. A lot of people seem to fall into that trap. They get bored, they start drinking, and because they spend all their money on booze, they can't afford to get out of here. It's a vicious cycle. Max gets it, though. He's a bit of a study freak, but he knows how to wind down as well. That's why I like him. I laughed my backside off throughout the movie, losing myself in childish humor, but like all good things, it comes to an end. You're right, it's exactly what I needed. Haven't laughed so hard in ages. I know, right? It's so stupid that it becomes genius. Gonna stay over? Look at my watch. Nah, I should get home. I mean, things should have calmed down over there. Mom will be worried. No probs. Always welcome here, you know. Thanks, man. I want to take him up on the offer, but I know that I have to patch things up with Dad. I don't like leaving things to fester. Better deal with them before they get out of hand. I saw I pick up myself out of Max's beanbag. See you at school tomorrow? Sure. Let's come here and let you know you're done. When you're done, and we can look at the math assignment you got. It's due Friday, you know. Don't remind me. You'll be fine. Anyways, night. Night. That's the end of the scene, so let's double check. I should turn in. Yeah, it's like Max's dialogue isn't showing up at all. He's monologuing.
You know what it is. I'm calling it now. I'm telling you now, bro. It's Max is entirely in our head. This is a Tyler Durden situation.
This gets more interesting. Take a look at where it gets it, though. Ow. Like this weird characters. She's a bit of a study freak, but she knows how to wind down as well. That's why I like her. Suddenly, we're talking about someone completely different than Max.
Oh dear.
Like, so who's she?
Interesting.
Who is she?
Clearly, it's the entity from, I Want to Date an Entity.
I'd be okay with that. Even if she did squash me like a bug like 3 times. Evening's starting to get a little warmer, but... Did
you ever figure out what we were doing wrong?
No, I didn't go back and do the final ending. I need to, though. I still have the game downloaded. Even though the spring days are starting to heat up, the nights still retain a winter's chill. Soon the days will start getting longer, and you'll be able to go out without a jacket. I'm looking forward to that. Just let Mum know I'm coming home. Ah, crap. I'm in my bag. My phone's nowhere to be seen. Must have left it at Max's house. Hope he's still up. As I approach Max's house, I can see lights dancing through his window. He's still watching TV. Try the door. Thankfully, it's unlocked. I guess his parents are asleep already. There'd be hell to pay if I woke them up. Inside, the sound of water echoes faintly. I shouldn't have worried about waking anyone up. They're obviously watching something. Regardless, habit makes me creep up the stairs, just in case. I feel like a thief in the night. Hang on. Before we go further... Nope, the history's not even progressing right now, so we really are just losing it. What was that? Pang of dread spears through my heart. This doesn't sound from a movie. This is real. Lights pouring out of Max's parents' room. The same watery sound. It's too loud to be a shower. It feels like it's moving around the house. Max, you okay? My heart pounds against my chest, and I find it hard to swallow. My mouth is dry. My call to Max seems more like a whimper. The air smells of ozone, and the hair on my arm starts to stand on end. I feel arcs of static electricity shooting from my hand to the stairway, and I yelp in shock. I reach for the banister to steady myself, but the solid wood seems to flex at my touch, like it's made of sponge. The steps, too, feel like they give way under my weight, even though I've bounded up them hundreds of times or more. I try to shake it off. It's late at night. My mind's playing tricks on me. Even my eyes are finding it hard to focus on the world around me. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that myself, actually. It's as though in some new reality my body wasn't built to handle. I can feel a presence getting closer and the sound of water getting louder. It's the noise of a river bursting its banks and charging down a street. I creep up the last stairs and into the darkened landing, rounding the corner with caution. What? Before I realize it, I'm seeing something indescribable. I'm frozen.
Oh!
We just stopped messing around. I'm frozen in fear, my hands clutching the handrail of the stairway. A giant glowing head.
That thing right there.
Yeah.
Okay, my immediate reaction is, good lord, they're ripping off Stranger Things of all people, of all things. But at the same time, though, there are. If you are a weirdo like me and you look into early animal life, one of the earliest and most primitive are these like strange pseudo worms from the Ediacaran that were called radiatoforms. Basically, they were simple creatures. Basically, they were a tube of basically just a tube of cells.
Right.
They would have a mouth and they would have, another end.
Yeah.
And they would just funnel nutrients through them. This thing looks like what they look like. Granted, these things would be about the size of your finger, not
a
the size of an
anaconda. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I get the Stranger Things comparison, but that's really limited to the mouth part of it. And to be honest, I only ever saw the first 2 seasons, so I basically watched up to where what they call the Demigorgon stops being relevant.
To be perfectly honest, I never even saw that. I just did not care, just because I'll be perfectly honest, when this series is supposed to happen. If it's when I think it is, I wasn't even alive, so
it was the
I don't even.
Yeah.
So I was I don't even have the nostalgia factor, and I just don't care about Mom, I want a Call of Cthulhu game. We have Call of Cthulhu at home.
It's okay. Okay, this is gonna be maybe a hot take. It was okay. Of the 2 seasons I saw, it was all right. But the time spent in the show is divided between the interesting A-plot, which focuses on the kids and the supernatural and all the weird stuff that happens. They meet this girl with psychic powers and she's tied to this bigger conspiracy. That's really good. And then there's this obnoxious B-plot about one of the kids' sisters and her inability to get a date, and her best friend goes into the dark world and dies off camera very ignobly. And I was why are we dividing our time between the good story and the boring story? Because the boring story never goes anywhere, and it's super, super, super dull.
What my mind immediately went to was them trying to do real life Teen Girl Squad, and that made me sad.
It's
because
not even that
actually,
good.
That's kind of...
No,
yeah.
It's not good. The girl Barb, who goes into the dark world, there's an implied story that's way more interesting than what was shown. And mind you, each of these episodes is an hour long. If you cut out the boring B plot line, they could be 20 to 30 minutes and a much better show. So that's basically my review.
Wow.
So is it yeah, it was good, and maybe the rest of it's good too. I don't know. I didn't watch past that part. But what I saw, the A plot was good, and the B plot was this shouldn't be in the show. This is just padding. Fight me in the comments, I guess. Whatever. Giant glowing head arches out from Max's parents' bedroom. At least I think it's a head.
You know what's be even better?
What's
is
that?
if it comes out and there's Oh, hello. Hello, Moritz. How are you?
I've been better. Starting to second guess myself and some of my choices in life. Australian wildlife, man.
Hello. You.
At least I think it's a head. From the front, it's nothing but
Yeah,
teeth.
see, the funny thing is, as soon as I started doing the funny voice, my doodle ran over to me. Now he's like,
Are you okay?
it's okay, big guy. It's okay. Yeah.
Rows and rows of teeth disappearing into an endless blood-red maw. The creature twists and shows me its body. It's like a floating snake, a fluid tube about a foot across, winding its way from Max's parents' bedroom. Skin is flowing liquid, glowing and brilliant. Colors dance across its surface in constant motion. It's as beautiful as it is terrifying. I can do nothing but look, not even a breath escapes from my lips. The head bobs and weaves as it was searching for something, before plowing into the hallway wall. Max! My body engages where my brain can catch up, and I charge into Max's room. The snake's already coiling up in Max's room, and I can see him on his bed, frozen in panic. The beast's head is arched up to the ceiling, swaying like a cobra about to strike, fixated on Max. Hang on, let's check the history. Nope, we're not even getting a history right now. That must only update at certain points. The beast's head is arched up to the ceiling, swinging like a cobra. I grab a pen from Max's desk, it's the closest thing I can find, and try to stab the glowing fluid body. The pen and my hand pass through the snake's body, and for a moment I feel lost in time. A terrible sensation of touching the beast instantly sets my body afire, and I feel my stomach retch as it heaves up its contents. My projectile vomit phases through the snake's body and all over Max's desk. Sorry, buddy. Doug, help me! Get out of here! I try to grasp the snake's body again, but my hands can't find purchase. Nausea washes over my body again as I make contact with the strange fluid body. Doug! In an instant, the serpent pounces. Its endless mouth opens wide where it slams itself upon Max's helpless body. The snake's skin glows even brighter, more blinding than the sun, and I have to shield my eyes. Instinctively, I charge into the beast, arms flailing, trying to save my friend. I feel my whole body crashes into the watery form, and my brain starts to freeze. My eyes feel like they'll bulge out of my head, and my skin bristles. I can hear nothing but the darkness of the void. Electricity arcs in my nose, a burning, artificial smell. It's like my body is being warped and stretched in every direction at once. Suddenly, I phase through the snake's body and reach the other side. The beast is ignoring me completely. It uncoils itself as it continues downward through Max's beds.
Oh my!
Sloshing and gurgling as it rushes past. In a moment, it's gone, the room shrouded in darkness. Max? Takes a moment for my eyes to adjust. My voice is a hoarse whisper. I creep towards Max's bed, groping at the darkness. Max! My voice returns slightly. Part of me hopes that Max, like myself, simply passed through the phantom beast, rattled but unharmed. As the darkness starts to give way, I can finally see Max's room. It's perfectly empty, as if it were a showroom model that had never been lived in. Max is nowhere to be seen. Max? Max! There was no answer. I force my body to Max's parents' room. Again, there's no one there. From downstairs, a gurgling sound of water creeps back into my perception. Flashing colors light up the stairwell as the beast moves around the ground floor of the house. I drag myself over to the ledge. Balustrada? How do you say that?
Hold on.
Balustrade? Balustrada? Take a deep breath.
Honestly, I've never encountered that word myself. Let me look.
Oh god, it changed again. Returning to telelate. Sleep is not coming easily to me. I dream of an endless red desert capped with a pitch black sky. But then from above I feel a presence. A girl's face, younger than me, appears above me. Nat, is that you? There's no answer.
Balustrade. It is a railing supported by balusters, especially ornamental parapets. Oh, so it literally, you know, those railings that you'd see, you know, but you know those railings that they keep telling you when you're younger to not, you know, just slide down?
Yeah.
Yeah, like those.
Okay. Nat, is that you?
Yeah.
There's no answer. I feel an unbidden hand on my cheek. I can hear a gurgling swirl around me, and rivers are carved out into the desert. Flashing colors light up the sky as the world is formed before my eyes. The rushing water's sound grows in volume, and the light increases in intensity.
Well,
I'm
I
going
didn't realize
crazy.
that we were going to be. I didn't realize that we were literally Randolph Carter, and we are now encountering, unknown creatures from Yugoth. But
With a guttural scream, I launch myself down the stairwell and onto the back of the beast. Oh.
Leroy.
Yeah, we did kind of Historia chapter 1. The morning breaks in my window, rousing me before my alarm. Rivers seem to flow around me, filling the cooling water. The rushing water sound grows in volume, the light increases in intensity, but the girl doesn't leave me. I check my phone, noting it's only 15 minutes before my alarm is due to sound anyway. To be robbed of those precious last moments of sleep irritates me for some reason, but I know I'm not going to be able to reclaim them. Doesn't help that I can't put my finger on when I got to sleep last night. I remember tossing and turning in bed, complaining about not sleeping. But that's it. I guess my temper flared too high and messed with sleeping patterns. I know that I must have gone to sleep at some point, but part of me doesn't believe it. Just as tired as when I crawled into bed. That's hashtag relatable. Such is the life of a high school boy, I guess. After trying to force my eyes shut for 5 minutes, I realized the futility of it all and dragged my sorry
Such
arse
is
out
the
of
life
bed.
of a boy, of a man, in general.
The house is silent. Must have been the first up. Mom's likely still passed out. She's been working long shifts recently. Dad, his car's in the driveway, so he's here, but I honestly couldn't care right now. He had no right to act the way he did last night. Alcohol's no excuse to lose your mind that kind of way. In any case, I can't hear him around, maybe still hungover and sleeping it off. Pull on a uniform and head to the kitchen to fix myself some breakfast. To my surprise, Natalia's already quietly eating a bowl of cereal. Morning, Doug. Did I wake you? Nah, you can blame the sun for that.
Oh, we actually got a name for him.
Yeah, he's Doug. We got a name pretty much out of the gate. I can see a flicker of relief rush
Still
across
calling
her.
him Moritz.
Good. I just didn't want to disturb anyone after, I guess everyone is walking on eggshells this morning. It's okay. So you thought you'd get out of here early. Yeah, you could say that. Although I think you're the one who would want to sneak out. It's barely 7. Dad won't be up until 1:30. If you leave now, you'll miss him. Thought it crossed my mind. Might be a lot easier to avoid Dad today. I'll think about it. Pour myself a bowl of cereal and sit opposite my sister. I glanced at my own uniform, clean but crumpled. It's a far cry from the neat perfection of Natalia's. Because we have different priorities. No one cares what a guy's clothes look like. Girls seem to pay attention to different things. We eat in silence, careful not to rouse the monster that ruined last night. Look, it's not my place to tell you how to live your life, and Dad was clearly in the wrong. But you don't need to provoke him, especially when he's drunk. I feel a knot in my chest. She's probably right, but pride won't let me admit that. Let's have a look at the history real quick. Looks like everything is normal for the moment. Okay, so we're back to sanity, I guess. She always was Dad's favorite. She doesn't know how hard he is on me. It's all hard to keep my stomach in check before answering. I didn't provoke him. He just never listens to me. I was only trying to explain myself. That's exactly the point. You always have to win, even when it's impossible. Do you think he's going to listen to you when he's like that? Better off keeping your mouth shut. Maybe we can be a family again. I opened my mouth to reply, but I paused for a second. Replays of last night run through my mind as I processed what she said. Dad came home and accused me of wasting time on the computer. Turned off the computer before he could check it. Lost his mind, started trying to take the computer apart. Told me I had an assignment due tomorrow. Natalia tried to intervene, but upon seeing the maelstrom, retreated to her room. Mom refused to be drawn into the conflict. Her long shift had ended and she needed to wind down. So it was Dad and I yelling insults at each other until he stepped out of my room. Spotted my chance, barricaded my door. Mom was finally moved to act when he went for an axe to break into my room. By that point, I'd already slipped out through the window. She laid into him before heading out to get some sleep. This wasn't a regular occurrence. I'm sure our neighbors would have called the police at that point. I imagine they're getting used to these escalating exchanges. It's the same pattern every night. But I'm glad I can count on my sister. She's practically my best friend. I don't know what I'd do if she weren't around. But what else am I supposed to do? Roll over and let him ruin my life? I'm 17, nearly 18, but by this time next year I'll be in university. He treats me like I'm some 5-year-old that needs to be told how to do everything. Just because he's bigger than me doesn't make him right. He's infuriating. My hand starts to tremble as the memories from last night tumble around my mind. But you do act like a child sometimes. What did you end up doing last night after you quieted down? Did you study? She knows me too well. I try to avoid her piercing gaze, but it's impossible. Her voice is a calming influence on me, helping me see through the fog that lingers in my mind. For some time now, she's been able to tell exactly when I was lying. I watched Hot Rod in my room, then tried to force myself to sleep. Maybe you do need someone to look out for you. I've always been close to my sister. Something about her just makes me want to look after her. Like, she's an innocent version of myself, I need to protect from the big bad world. But recently, I felt like the tables have turned. She started looking out for me more than I have for her. She's certainly more level-headed than I am. She's able to make friends easily, something that has always vexed me. Never really had any friends, at least none that I would rely upon. So, like, did Max just get, like, eaten out of history? Is, like, his entire family just get, like, time-phased into a nothingness?
It seems like, okay, honestly, certain things have remained true. I mean, we still watched Hot Rod.
Yes.
We still got into kind of a back and forth with our parents. But yeah, this is like, I was about to ask, I'm like, are we taking crazy pills? Because like, it seems now that like, our recollection of what just happened is like completely different than what happened when we were just playing now with Max.
Yeah.
So
like, so that's really interesting because, like, think about what we saw in the history tab. When we talked to Max, suddenly he wasn't there. We were monologuing to ourselves. So, like, the history of the conversation was the events that we are recalling now is what we're talking about with her now, with the exception of the entire water monster. So now...
And you'll notice that, yeah, the history literally is just us basically monologuing to ourselves, grousing, watching the movie, and then, yeah. So...
But hang on. No, hang on.
Did it change again?
It changed. You always have to win even when it's impossible. Do you think it's going to listen to you? You're better off keeping your mouth shut. Maybe you're going to be a family again. I paused for a second. Replays last night run through my head. Dad came home, turned off the computer. He lost his mind and started trying to take the computer apart as things are breaking down here. I told him that I had an assignment due tomorrow. Voices got louder. Max, Leah tried to intervene, but upon seeing the maelstrom retreat into his
Leah.
Max,
is that the she?
Yeah,
is that the she that we were talking about before?
Possibly. Max refused to be drawn to the conflict. His long shift had ended, and she needed to wind down. Same pattern every night. I'm gonna count my sister. She's practically my best friend. So, like, things are breaking apart. Like, something is basically shattering our perception of time and, like, basically cause and effect. Like, it seems like things are bleeding over into each other. And that is a interesting little conundrum now, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe that's why she's a little more stable than myself. She always seems to have someone to talk to. Yet I feel something tugging on the back of my mind, a dream half dreamed. Shake off the feeling and shovel the remaining cereal into my mouth. I do have someone to look out for me. It's your job, right? What are you saying? You're supposed to be the big brother here. Relax, pulling your leg. I'll be fine. Only a couple more months, and then I'm out of here. You can come visit me if you'd like. What, to a uni dorm? No thanks, I've seen your room. Can't imagine it'll be like in London and force you to clean up. Don't tell me you're afraid of some dirty clothes. If that was all I had to worry about finding in your room, I'd be okay with it. I want to reply, but realize I backed myself into a corner. I either incriminate myself or disgust my sister, or more than likely both. Joshing has changed my mood a little. After being berated all night, it's good to chat freely with a friend. Are you alright? Huh? Nothing. I don't think you were coughing or something. My body's convulsing. I didn't realize it. I'm trying to heave up some unknown poison from my gut. Just some gas, I guess. Didn't even register my body was moving. Do you want me to get Mum to look at you? I can wake her. Nah, she'll panic like she always does. We'll go for a walk and it'll be alright. Good idea. Best to leave before the dragon awakes. I heard a growling in my ear. That's great. I wave back at my sister as I walk out the door. All right, hang on. Let's have a look. What? I look up from the... Oh my god, Doug, I look up from the pool of vomit on the table, my eyes apologizing to my sister. It feels good to have this poison released from my gut. Just some gas, I guess. Didn't even register my body moving. And then they just act like nothing happened. Like, okay. So we vomited but didn't, or we're about to, based on what we're seeing here. I know she's trying to make light of the situation, but it's not a great place for any of us right now. Dad can't seem to leave work at work, so he's already stressed by the time he walks in the door. Even when he's not drunk, it's sitting on the keg of gunpowder. Mom's given up helping. She's seen enough death and destruction at work. She tries to drown out our fights when she can. Nat and I banded together to protect one another. At least, I'd like to believe that. I know that I have a share of blame when it comes to the fights at home. I can't stop myself. I know that I should shut up and let him blow off steam, but I can't. Fighting back seems to be part of my nature. I simply can't let him believe he's right when he's clearly in the wrong. But it's not fair on Nat. Maybe I should pay more attention to her. I stare at my feet as I shuffle along the road, as if on autopilot. I've walked to school 1,000 times. My body knows where it's going. Instead, I put my mind to deciphering last night's events. What could I have said differently? How can I tell myself to prevent my reacting? Mental fuse that I can blow before flying off the handle. It's pointless. No matter how many times I look through last night's events, I can't see myself reacting any differently. I'm a sucker for a fight. I guess people don't change. If you put the same person in the same situation 100 times, you get the same result 100 times over. Well, presumably, but that doesn't account for other factors. It's far too early to show up at school, but I could go to a cafe somewhere and crack a textbook there, I guess. Something prompts me to look up, and I realize I'm lost. I'm standing in front of an unfamiliar house, a two-story townhouse that seems to be an exact copy of the other houses on its street. I know I've never seen it before, but I can't ignore the tingle of deja vu coursing down my spine. Based on that glass panel up here, this great big window, that's Max's house, or was.
Oh dear.
Let's have a look real quick. Stairs I shuffle along. Let's believe that. Mom's given up. Okay, nothing new yet. I'm drawn to this house somehow, but I don't know why. I look down to my hand, see it shaking just like it was at breakfast. Looking at the house makes me feel like I want to vomit, so I turn my back to it and head towards school. I barely make it 10 steps.
There sure is a lot of vomit going on.
Yeah, there is. Barely make it 10 steps before I feel an eruption in my gut charging from my mouth. I have no choice, but no chance to stop it, and I aim for the stream of black bile into a nearby gutter. The massive vomit seems to crawl on the concrete like some kind of animal seeking shelter in a nearby drain. I turn back towards the house I just left. It appears hazy in my vision, out of focus. Like when you try to take a photo without enough light. Blurred. Max. Max. Why have I heard that name before? More importantly, why am I saying it? But what was that? Something just popped into view. Looks like it was at breakfast. I barely make it 10 steps. I had no choice. I turned back towards the house. Max, why have I heard that name? How could you forget me? More importantly, why am I saying it? We were best friends, man! I need a drink of water. Spring heat is starting to get to me. I'm overtired and dehydrated. I close my eyes, take some deep breaths, charging my lungs with oxygen before pushing on back towards school. The unexpected detour has cost me some time, and as I approach the school, I start to see other students meander in the same direction. I pay them no mind. Regardless of opening hours, I need a coffee and water to soothe my dried throat. Hang on, I just want to check real quick. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening in the background in this game. That's really fascinating. I knew Ren'Py was a relatively robust engine, but this is pushing it in ways that I didn't know were possible. A latte and a cold bottle of water. I've blown most of my money from carrying for lunch. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I take alternating sips of the hot drink and cold water. Not sure why. It helps wash away the taste of vomit. Max. Who is Max? I'm perplexed by this figment of my memory. It's a little more than a name, but there's some connection there. I close my eyes, try to sort out my thoughts. As liquids mix in my stomach, I can feel something deep within me. Some kind of imbalance in the universe. Like I'm missing some piece of me. Try to breathe in deeply, but it feels like I can't feel my lungs. I overextend myself, trying to get air into each branch of my chest, but it's no use. I'm not exhausted yet. I feel short of breath, like I'm drowning in thick air. Memory is desperately clinging to the back of my mind. I try to shake it off, but I can't. Eyes closed, I reach for my coffee. Reflexes kick in, and I shake the hot liquid off my hand. I open my eyes to the spilled coffee spread like a brown wave across the table, drenching everything in its path. Crap! Levy of napkins quickly created to contain the disaster. Somehow I have emerged unscathed beside some lightly soiled hands. Just want to check. So when he started saying Max's name, I was like, is he gonna like chime in again? Like, is Max still here with me? What's going on? So as much of the coffee as I can to a mountain of soaked tissues. We're heading into the bathroom to wash my hands. The stink in the bathroom's already sickening. Didn't they clean it last night? Or have the years of grease from the fast food atmosphere simply made this place uninhabitable? Never mind. Turn on the faucet and place my hands in the water. Electricity arcs through my hands to make contact with the stream, causing me to trip over myself. What the? I feel the urge to vomit. I barely drag myself to the filthy toilet before I lose control and discharge the coffee mix into the bowl. I feel a tear in my reality. An unfamiliar face calls to me. Doug! Max? The pigment loses itself in the swirl of the toilet, beyond the reach of my senses. The stomach pinches again. Memories of sitting at home last night shudder and fade like a bad recording on a security camera. What was that? So much for keeping myself clean. Gray-brown stains are smeared across the knees of my school pants and flecks of black vomit litter my shirt. There's no time to change. I need to get to school, clear my head, and get over whatever fever dream I'm having. Oh, that's interesting. Max's dialogue doesn't show up at all in the history. Part of me wants to go home and crawl into bed, but I'll never hear the end of it if I do. The water's still pouring from the faucet into the sink. I want to splash my face, but the shock from the first time scares me. Shut off the tap and carefully leave the bathroom. Guiltily, I eye off the disaster zone of the coffee flood before bolting out the door of the cafe and into the schoolyard. Someone will clean it up, I'm sure. I mean, that's their job, right? Maybe it'll be practice for them before they attempt to clean the bathroom. Ooh, rough. The familiarity of the playground settles my mind and stomach. Groups are huddled in their spots. Sporty kids are kicking a ball around the oval. The nerds are playing a game of chess under the shade of a tree. My friends are sitting around, joking and already eating their lunch. Sup? Not much. You? Yeah, fine. Didn't sleep well, but that's pretty normal. Gotta stop hitting those books so hard. Maybe. But I want to make sure I get out of here. After the perfunctory greetings, they return to their conversations about girls and cars. Both things that none of them have any real experience with, but that doesn't prevent them from posing as experts in their field. I must have eaten something funky last night. It's the only explanation. Maybe this is some kind of drug trip? Did one of those guys slip me something without me noticing? Inexplicably, Graham vomits onto the ground, prompting the group around him to scatter. You okay? Yeah, this wasn't something I ate. I'm going to the nurse's office. Just let me give you a hand. I help Graham up from the ground in the cooling pool of vomit. I offer to help him, but he shrugs me off. Don't worry, dude. I got this. Graham makes his own way towards the nurse's office as the remainder of our group tries to avoid the sick. Before I can complain, the bell rings and we shuffle towards roll call. Schoolyard banter continues, drawing the disgusted stares from some girls in the class, but we don't seem to mind. Let me check. Seems like everything's okay for the moment. Schoolyard banter continues, drawing disgusted stares at some of the girls in the class, but we don't seem to mind. Cedar strides in, we all settle down. All right, quiet up. Roll call time. Daisy, Daryl, Doug, Edgar, Edith, Graham. But what was that? Rebecca. Huh? Quiet, please, Doug. You've had your turn. No, what did you say? Max. Rebecca. Walls of the classroom flex in towards me, and again I feel as if I can't breathe. I'm underwater, unable to fill my lungs. I need to escape. Doug, are you okay? Yeah, get me out of here. I'm fine. Max, are you... Get me out of here. I can see the classroom spinning fan, pulling the air along with it. Slowly
I was about to say, he clearly is not fine.
Yeah, no, he is not okay. Slowly dissolving the ceiling and pulling it off into an off-white swirl above me. Edgar, can you help Doug get to the nurse's office? That was... Like, there's so many things that flashed across the screen. I was hoping the history would tell me, but now it doesn't wanna. The windows melt in the hot, hot sun that's beating down on me from above. It's light dancing as it refracts the liquid ceiling. It's fine. I gotta get Max. Who is Max? Edgar, please help him lie down. A vague figure approaches me
Oh
and
dear.
places a hand on my shoulder. Fire burns my insides and I recoil from his touch. Don't touch me. I leap back, tripping over my desk. I need to find Max, now. Edith, please go get the nurse, now. I feel a presence slip past me. It's hard to see through the thick air. It reminds me of something buried deep in my mind, a repressed memory. Fangs and rushing water tear at the edges of my mind, forever out of reach. But at the end of my conscience, I can sense its malevolent presence. I need to get out of this space, this reality that's falling down around me. The door's shape beckons to me, and I swim through the fluid space towards it. Beyond it, I can see the school's hallway, shimmering as if it were looking through a soapy bubble. I'm not going to let you eat me. My voice echoes around the classroom, shifting in pitch as it bounces off the walls of this bubble. With much effort, I reach the door and tear myself through its membrane and into the clear air beyond. My memory returns. Behind me, reality snaps back into place as 2 dozen scared faces staring at me. There's no time to explain this to them. This is... I gotta say, this already has me kind of on the edge of my seat. This is already pretty incredible.
Yeah, this is very unusual. This is not what I expected, that's for sure.
No, but I'm really glad Matt YD or Matt TYD recommended this to us. Yes. How would they understand anyway? There's a monster on the loose, and there's a chance that Max is still out there somewhere. I can feel his presence calling to me. School's nurse rounds the corner of the hallway, a concerned look on his face. My feet start to move automatically, carrying me away from the nurse and deeper into the school. Doug, it's okay. I'm here to help you. Footsteps speed up as he tries to keep pace, but I know that I'm younger and faster. I break into a sprint, running down the hallway. I misjudge my speed and crash into a classroom door as I round a corner. The class beyond stares at me through the windows, and worried face jumps out at me. It's Nat, horrified to see the commotion that her brother's causing. She jumps up and runs to the door before I can gather myself and run off. Doug, are you okay? What's going on? It's Max, he's gone. Some monster has him. I need to try and save him. Doug, what are you talking about? I think you need to lie down.
Oh, snap.
I slap away my sister's reassuring hand. If I don't get out of here soon, I'll be trapped here forever. Escape is my only option, even if that means pissing Nat off. Sorry, this has to be done. The whole town's in danger. I mean, the nurse is finally caught up. Love you, sis. My legs pump as I run through Natalia's classroom and leap from an open window and out into the play yard. The nurse peers his head out the ground floor window. It's not too far from the ground, but too high for him to jump. I turn my back on the school building and sprint to the grassy playground and over into the street beyond. Intersecting memories overlap my mind, but I can now clearly see Max's house in my mind. My body must have been taking me there this morning to check on him. If only I weren't so stupid to realize what was going on. I feel like I've been drugged and my memory is replaced. But it's more powerful than that. Like Max is some creation of my mind that I forgot about. Childhood memory that was forgotten, only to come rushing back with total clarity due to some random stimulus.
This is what we were saying before. Yes.
Yep.
Or like what I was saying before, rather.
Yeah. Like remembering a summer trip if you smell a certain scent, or a joke you were told over ice cream. I can't be sure that it's real, but the only way for me to know is to confront Max or the monster and find out. Max's house stands as it always has. The 2-story townhouse is in a nice area. Front garden with its perfectly maintained lawn, the immaculate white paint, the faux marble entranceway. I had leaned to deal... learned. Typo there. To deal with the difference in our lifestyles, but I think part of me secretly hated him for that. Take a step toward the front door, but something stops me. Even though I was here less than 12 hours ago, something's different. The car in the driveway is an old but well-maintained Toyota. I could have sworn his dad had a BMW. Something's amiss with the curtains as well. Weren't they beige, not brown? I'm still shook up. There's something wrong with this reality. Or maybe this is all some kind of trip. Bet Max will be inside, laughing his arse off and dying to reveal what he slipped me last night. Drugs are easy enough to get at my school, and Max has money and gall to pull a stunt like that. He's told me countless times before that I'm too much of a straight arrow and need to lighten up. One of these days I'll break you out of that Boy Scout shell. It's my personal mission, is what he used to say. Maybe he decided to get a little heavier-handed in his methods. If that's what happened, I'm going to wring his neck. Then again, after the last 24 hours, I think I'd prefer a bad acid trip to warping through realities. Or seeing that giant snake dream again. Just checking. I walk through the soft grass and press the doorbell. It feels delightfully solid. I faintly hear it ring inside. The noise is somehow calming. The drug theory is making more and more sense. Not going crazy after all. Coming. It's a voice not heard before. An old lady? Maybe he has a visitor? The door opens and I see an old Asian woman in front of me. Can I help you? Yeah, is Max in? I peer in behind the woman. Everything looks different from what I remember. Stairway looks the same, but the furniture has all been changed. Max, I think you had the wrong house. No, this is the right house. Max Dunbar has lived here for years. Now I know you're wrong. This has been my home since it was built 13 years ago. The nausea hits me again. I falter
Oh
backwards.
dear.
She shakes her head before closing the door.
Yeah. Okay. A thought occurs to me.
Do tell.
We are getting sick a lot, right?
Yes, we very much are.
Is it possible that maybe the reason why we're getting sick is whenever we get sick, history has changed?
Something in the timeline has changed? That's entirely possible. That seems
Yes.
to be our recurring
Yes.
theme here.
Yes. I'm just, it seems to be that like, see, the thing is I would say, hey, let's look back, but it's like, that's not a reliable indicator of anything now. Because it seems like our history can change, and even then it can change multiple times, even after it's already been changed.
That is true. Looks like the scene in the classroom is all the same, but I stumble away from the house. As I cross onto the footpath, I feel like I'm pushing through the air, like I'm walking through a wall of mud. My memory clears and I can see the ghostly snake devouring Max clearly in my mind's eye. I take a deep breath of air and squeeze my eyes shut, forcing my memories to the fore. My mind is at odds with itself. Part of it is telling me Max was a dream, that he never existed. The more I try to recall our childhood together, the harder it gets to remember him. Like I'm chasing a
But
rainbow.
no.
No matter how fast you run towards it, it's always out of reach. Doubt creeps into my consciousness. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I was the one that fed myself drugs and Max is an illusion. No, that can't be right. He's real. I'm real. None of this world is real. But I need to pull myself together. People are going to think that I'm crazy. I think it's a little late for that, Doug, but okay.
Yeah, I hate to say it. It's probably late for that, bro.
Running screaming from school will have that effect on your reputation. I need to get my world under control, but it's spinning too fast. Or maybe that's just my head. Nothing makes sense and I feel exhausted. As much as I want to avoid a run-in with Mum right now, I decide the best option is to sneak home. If I can rest for a little bit, then maybe I can clear my head and sort this mess in my mind. There's an audio cue of Max saying Doug's name, and I was just like, is that in the history? It's like, are we really losing it? I think we are.
Yeah, it's me, Max. We didn't remember what your name was. Zitaku's kind of dumb like that.
The walk home feels longer than it should be, and I can swear that I can
He's
smell
making a
traces of
really, really
ozone.
bad reference. No one's gonna get that.
Cold breeze
You should
blows.
shame him. Shame him in the comments.
Go to the comments and shame Titaku, yes. Or is his name actually something different? Ooh.
That's right. My name is actually Greg. It's been Greg this whole time.
Oof. Cold breeze blows down Max's street, and I feel the chill against my skin. The wind blows the smell from my nose before I can verify it. By the time I get home, I've almost convinced myself this is reality, that Max was a dream. I quietly open the back door to my house. Dad should be at work right now, but it doesn't hurt to be careful. Mom's likely asleep after her night shift. She doesn't usually get up till after we finish school. I was wondering when you'd come back here. Natalia's waiting for me at the kitchen table, negating this need for stealth. How did you know I'd be here? You ran screaming from the school like it's some kind of drug fever. I knew you'd have to come back here eventually. I sheepishly try to avoid her stare. She's right. I went a little overboard this morning. Must have slept poorly or something. Didn't look like sleep to me. Are you using? I recoil physically at her accusation. From her point of view, it's a reasonable conclusion. No, I swear, I'm just a little messed up right now. I think that I had this weird dream last night, that I saw some kind of attack. But I'm okay now. You better not be taking anything. I put up enough crap from Dad and those junkies in school. You're supposed to be the diamond in the rough here. I tussle my little sister's hair. You don't need to worry about me. I've got too much going on to mess it up now. I can count the rest of my high school life in weeks, and I know just how behind I am on my studies. Hang on, something just changed there? No, okay. Just, when the weird frosting on the text bar flashes in, that just makes me a little paranoid.
Yeah.
If I want to end up at a half-decent university and get out of this backwater, I need to hit the books. I feel my lungs try to push the remnants of this dream from my head. I need to forget fantasies of snakes and monsters. Focusing on some hard facts from a textbook should help. You'd better not. Oh, I brought your bag back. I told your roll call teacher that you had a fever. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm going back to school now. Get your head together, okay? Sure. Nat? Huh? Don't tell Mom, okay? She'll flip out and send me a bunch of tests or something. You got it. Pull a stunt like this again, and I'll make you piss in the cup myself. Natalia
Ew.
picks up her school bag and heads for the door. Talking to another person helps to calm my mind, and suddenly I feel tired. Running around like a madman all morning is taking its toll. I need to study to clear my head. It's not often that I get the chance to have the house to myself. I grab a glass of milk from the fridge. Don't do that with a nausea, dude. Milk curdles in your stomach. That's bad. That's bad news bears right there.
It's bad, okay?
Slamming it shut before opening my school books on the kitchen table. It's much easier to study here than in my room with the piles of old cardboard boxes. Small windows in that room simply don't provide enough ventilation. Too long in there and I'll get myself a headache. I'm becoming engrossed in my history book. Before I know it, white light streaming in through the windows is taking an orange hue. I better shift back to my pitiful room before anyone gets home. The sun sets and my wayward family begins to assemble in the house. Natalia is first, secluding herself in her room almost as soon as she gets in. I suppose that between last night and today she's had enough of me and doesn't want to be dragged into another confrontation. Mom is next. I hear a sleepy sigh as she settles into the dining room after a day of sleep. I want to go out and say hello, but I'm afraid I'll slip up and she'll go into protection mode. Best to pretend that I'm studying and keep out of her way for now. Worst outcome is that she thinks I'm on drugs. I'll never hear the end of it. Locking myself away to study isn't that rare, so I might get away with it for today. I'm just extra paranoid now, you know.
No, I get it. This is very concerning. I would get paranoid too.
Isn't long before I hear the background noise of the TV flooded the living room and the hum of the microwave. Pasta again, I suppose. She works like a dog and still finds the energy to cook for us. I don't know how she does it. Not that boiling pasta and microwave sauce is really gourmet cooking, but it saves me doing it. Sometimes I try to cook for everyone, but it always ends up terrible. Mom subtly suggested that I leave it to her. Dinner's ready. The emotionless cry reverberates around our little house. Natalia and I dutifully file into the dining room. Natalia gives me a look that tells me she won't say a word, but at the same time to avoid starting another row with Dad. I sheepishly nod in her direction. Message received. One look at Mom's face tells me all I need to know. It's been a rough day. Don't ask me anything. That's what the bags under her eyes are telling us. How was school? Uneventful. I could hug my sister for jumping in before me. I still can't trust my mouth to say what I want to say. Wait, what was that? Something definitely flashed just now, and I'm just like, what changed? And you? Same, I guess. Just getting ready for finals. Good. I'm just saying, Mama-san over here.
Good.
Depressing. Cool. I'm just saying, Mama-san would.
You are as predictable as a sunrise there, Professor.
I'd be a much better dad for Doug and Natalia than drunk McGee over there.
Yeah, but you're not nearly as Australian. That's the problem.
True. She would have to settle for, American husbando, and I don't know. Is there a stereotype of that? Go ask a ranger that for me. Is there a stereotype about Australian women dating American men or marrying them?
All right, fine.
I'm just curious. The official family conversation ended. We start eating in silence. Spaghetti bolognese. It's a staple of our family diet. I don't really mind. It's quick and it fills you up. I'm healthy enough, so it can't be that bad for you. Started noticing that a lot of other people in town are becoming obese, but so far we're still fit.
We're doing an Australian VN, and
Doug.
Snek is wondering if there's a stereotype about American snacks dating Australian.
I want you to know that your dad doesn't mean everything he said last night. I throw my fork in the spaghetti, sloshing the red sauce around the plate. You just know that you only get one shot at this. You know that too, right? I guess. I don't feel like talking to her about it. I'm still not entirely sure what happened last night. Memories are overlapping in my mind, making it hard to tell reality from fiction. But if I act too weird, Mum's sensors will start pinging and I'll be interrogated with vigor. There's one more complication that I don't need in my life right now. Mum has made her stance on drugs quite clear. If the junkies were gone, we would need her to pull overtime. He's also got a lot of stress at the moment. Stress, huh? That guy doesn't know stress. Mum's worked in an emergency ward for decades. Story she tells us chills your blood. What kind of stress could an office worker have that compares to that? I know. Struggle to keep my emotions in check. If I get myself riled up now, it'll pop when he gets home. So long as you know, he wants what's best for you, even if you don't see it yet. One day, you'll thank him. Drop the fork on my plate with a clatter. I get it. I'm done. I carry the half-empty plate to the sink. I don't want to be petulant with my mother, but I also need time to think. Reality isn't playing nice today, and I already know what she's going to say. She's not wrong. I guess that's the hardest part of it all. I gotta study. My finals are bringing a lot of stress into the family. Even though I'm the only one affected, Mum and Dad both have been fretting over the coming exams. And that reflects back on me, so I start to get worried. At the beginning of the year, I thought I had everything under control. But as the day looms closer, they've started panicking. What if I don't get good enough grades? It's not like I have any other talents. I like to shoot some hoops now and again, but I'm easily the weakest player on the school team. Sports aren't an option. I've already had a couple of friends drop out of high school and start apprenticeships, but Dad wouldn't let me do that. You need a degree to survive in this world. Almost every trade will be automated in the next 20 years. Probably not, but whatever. You might be right.
No, that is a wishful thinking on Dad's part.
Yeah.
I hate to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, things are changing, and we're getting way uglier with our mother. Very ugly.
Like hell I will. It was at that point that Ditaku decided was in next week because he was sent there by his father.
Yep.
Ditaku will now be, played by, Morgan Freeman, because we can definitely afford that.
Oh, definitely. University has always been front of mind for me. I want to make an impact on this world, and it's not something you can do easily as an electrician. You'd be surprised, my dude.
You'll never be out of work, that's for sure.
Sparky boys make good money, especially depending on where you live.
Yes.
That's about where my ambition stops. I have a couple of subjects that I'm okay with, but nothing stellar. That's maybe the appeal of university. Get out of this tiny town and try to find what I'm good at. Maybe that's why I clash with Dad so much. He spends too much time reading about the future of business, so he wants me studying computer science. His vision of the future seems so clear, but from where I sit,
now you want to talk about a useless degree. I hate to say this because chronometer fiction is literally getting his degree for that now, but it's like there really is no reason to do that. Get your certifications, yes. Get a degree, no.
Not necessarily. Not unless you plan on being a code monkey and going into pretty advanced math.
Which I think is what he is learning.
Yes. I can hear his car pull up in the driveway now. It's starting to be 8 o'clock. Somehow I can tell by his footsteps that he hasn't been drinking. That's a relief. Door opens and he calls out to everyone. Mom, Doug, I've got a sec. Damn it, here he comes. In my room. Close my eyes and breathe in deeply, trying to force the confusion from my mind. If Mum's overbearing, caring instincts are bad, having Dad thinking I'm high would be much worse. Don't even want to imagine his reaction. Knocks on my door before opening it and leaning in. Look, Doug, I want to apologize for last night. It's okay? No, it's not. I went overboard and it's not healthy. Just get so worried about you and your sister. I don't want you to end up a screw-up like your uncle. Ah, that old crutch. Dad wasn't exactly on the top of the social ladder, but he's still a fair few rungs up from his kleptomaniac brother. I get it. I want you to know that I will support you. Just checking. Alright, we're good. I can see you making the same mistakes I did, and I want to stop you from that. A small spark of anger flares up in me. Normally I'd bite back, but I want this to be over. I have other things to worry about today. I know. Thanks, Dad. Dad seems to accept my thanks. He's probably expecting me to fight back as well. Okay, so you're working. I'll leave you to it. You're a good kid, you know that? Yeah, I know. Taps the door jam.
Oh, that's nice.
Pulls the door closed. Finally, I'm left alone. Seems like the kind of guy who really has a personality change when he gets the booze in his system.
I mean, potentially, I the problem being is that we're so things are so out of left field now in terms of like things
Yeah.
changing that I'm not sure like where to even believe if this is like actually the way it is
Oh,
or
jeez.
if this is
This could be, this could be a completely different timeline where he's not even a raging drunk.
yes.
Like this is really going to
That's
get to
exact.
be complicated, isn't
That's
it?
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
The tamp down the fire is starting to grow in my belly. No point in getting pissed off and starting another fight tonight. Till I can trust my body again, it's not worth making too much of a fuss. I need to clear my head, so I grab a light jacket and my helmet and head outside. Going for a ride. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, have you got your helmet? Oh. My mother's trained me well. No riding without a helmet. Used to think it was too nerdy, but then she showed me some photos of accidents. That was enough to scare me into protecting my skull. Stay on the main roads. Be safe. Sure thing, Mom. Pump my legs harder against the wind in my face. The blood surging through my body helps to clear my head. Forget about wild dreams of serpents or stomach cramps. Forget about Max and of the epic fights in the night. Just push, push, and push some more. All these things work themselves out in the end. Just push through it and you'll work it out. That's how I've dealt with everything else so far. Deal with what you have to and filter out the rest. But then again, I've not dealt with something like this before. Stop thinking. Push. Chastise myself for letting my mind wander, and I charge my legs for another sprint. School whizzes by on my left, and I head towards the river. At this hour, there are hardly any people in sight. I'm not sure what Mum was worried about. There aren't even cars out. I see someone walking a dog, but apart from that, nothing. I turn right and continue parallel to the river, out towards the industrial areas. The lighting's a little lower out here, but then again, there are fewer people. I need to go fast. As the road levels out, I pedal with increased fervor. My stomach's cramped slightly. Maybe I'm pushing too hard. Grit my teeth and continue forward, but the throbbing in my stomach grows with every rotation of the wheels until it develops into a full cramp. Slam on the brakes, and the bike skids to a stop. Ozone fills my nostrils. What the hell? I speak before I can stop myself. No sooner are the words left my lips, the tightening of my stomach turns into a full knot, and I let my bike fall to the ground. There, across the road, I can see it. The flickering rainbow of colors emanating from the windows of a nearby house. Colors that I saw less than a day before. The light emitted from the body of the snake. Vomit churns in my throat, but I swallow it back down. I need to confront this beast now. I need to know which of my memories are real.
So he just responded.
Okay.
Not as far as I know, though I'm happy to provide VA if you like. I know we use the word seppo as derogatory slang for a Snekbergian.
Oh, okay.
Or American, I guess, also.
All right.
You know, shocker, turns out that, Snek and Ditaku are Americans.
What are the odds? If they'd listened to us for like 20 minutes, I think they'd figure that out. I rush to the front door and start to pound on it furiously, but there's no answer. Let me in! I must look like a madman pounding on the door in this quiet street. The air here feels thick, like in the classroom this morning, like I'm stuck in some kind of bubble. I try to look at the houses around me, but they shimmer in the distance as if they're far away on a hot day. Madness possesses me, and I kick the door in. It gives away easily, as if it weren't completely solid. Somehow, it's not completely real. Inside the house, I can hear a sickening chewing, and I see the strobing flashes across the hallway. I charge into the house, hoping that I can save whomever's there. But before I can cross the threshold, the serpent appears at the end of the hall. Get down! From behind me, I hear a girl's voice over the cacophony of the approaching serpent.
Mrs. Obama, get down.
My legs don't wait for my brain. They curl up beneath me, and before I can think, I'm crouching on the floor. Glass bottle sails over my head and shatters on the floor, spraying liquid everywhere. The serpent retreats briefly before charging directly at us, exposing its infinite maw and rows of teeth that line it. Lets out a scream like a wave crashing over my head, and I clasp my hands over my ears to block out the noise. Get out of there! At the doorway, I can see a small figure in silhouette beckoning me towards her, a glass bottle in her hand. Instincts kick in, and I dive through the door into the darkness of the residential street. I feel the serpent behind me, but the silhouette hurls the bottle over my head, and it shatters above the serpent. Moments later, momentum carries my roll across the lawn. I swear I can read. As I tumble, I see the snake's body arch up and burrow into the floor. Like a switch, the sound of draining water is gone. The noises of a suburban street return, as is the panting of a girl out of breath. I turn to the house, but the light's now gone. The front door stands intact as if nothing ever happened. I pick myself up from the ground, brushing blades of grass off my clothes. I approach the front door, my hand running over the solid wood that was shattered moments ago. A quick check. Like, no crazy pills just yet. Like Max, someone died here, eaten by a giant snake. A lump starts to form in my throat, and then I feel a hand on my shoulder. So, is this our new routine? Who are you? And you saw it too? Tension in my gut starts to subside, and I realize that if the two of us saw the same thing, then maybe I'm not going crazy. At least, not indeed did I really just see a snake eat my friend crazy. Of course, but it reacted, right? To the turpentine. The bottle. It seemed pretty pissed off. The girl seems genuinely happy in an odd sort of way. She clenches her fists in a victorious pumping motion. She seems familiar, but I can't place her. So you know what's going on here? The girl stops her celebration for a second to look at me. She's wearing my school's uniform. Wait, you go to my school, right? The girl rolls her eyes. Yes, genius, I do. It's me, Michelle. I draw a blank. I might have seen this person in school, but she's somehow never registered in my brain. She seems short and dirty, her uniform muddied, probably torn. It's hard to tell in moonlight. Sure, I'm Doug. She keeps staring at me. Did I say something wrong? Are you serious? Do you honestly not know who I am? Oh, you don't remember anything from last night. Sounds less like a question and more like a realization. Why would she know anything about last night? Trying to open my mouth, she waves her hand with a bitter smile. Haven't you heard of me? Everyone else has. I'm in your sister's class too, you know. Really? No, wait, about last night. I remember some things. It's like I have two memories from last night. Rainbow serpent. Excuse me? It's called a rainbow serpent. Why is she so upset right now? She seemed so friendly just a moment ago. Now she won't even look me in the eye.
Oh, the rainbow Oh, no.
I don't get what her deal is. You really know nothing about all this, do you?
Snek, are you familiar with the rainbow snake or rainbow serpent?
I am dimly aware.
It's a Australian spirit that, depending on the story, is either a horrifying monster or is basically like the Aborigine god that created what they call the dream time, which is to say like the world itself.
All right.
Yeah,
we gotta change the history again. One where I stayed at home and fought with my dad and get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. She'd help me understand what the hell's going on. I think I can stomach her attitude. I can tell you two things. One, you're not crazy, and neither am I. Two, it's not going to come back to this house. Actually, three, you owe me a hot drink. Two by now, if I'm keeping score. What for? For saving your arse. Twice. Last word is icy cold. What? Never mind. She sighs deeply, clearly disappointed in me. I only wish I could know why. She saved me now, kind of. Did she do the same yesterday? No matter how much I strain my brain to remember, nothing comes up. Her face didn't awaken any memories either. If the memories about the monster are true, how did I get back home last night? The diner near here. Buy me a coffee and I'll call it even. Sure. Click my bike and push it as I walk alongside Michelle. Rainbow serpent, you say. Rainbow serpent, you heard it, right? Or did you sleep through history class? Thought it was some kind of aboriginal legend. Bingo. But didn't it create the rivers and the land and then die or something? Did that look dead to you? Guess not. Michelle's standoffish nature rubs against me, so I decide to keep my mouth shut. Before long, the yellow glow of the fast food restaurant fills the road ahead. We shuffle into the warm eatery. Why did you flash like that? Why did you flash like that? That's alarming. Just saying. The cashier gives us a look of disgruntled indifference, disappointed that we interrupted his mostly solitary night shift with an order. Steam curls off the top of the two cups they sit on the cream-colored plastic table. I study the girl across from me. In the harsh fluorescent light of the restaurant, I can see her uniform is quite stained, like she's been crawling through undergrowth. It's not quite torn, but definitely well worn. Luckily, our school doesn't care too much about uniforms, or else she'd be in trouble. What are you looking at? Nothing. Your uniform, I guess? Michelle checks herself, noticing the mud stains as if for the first time. It's a little dirty, so what? Nothing. Thought you might have been in an accident or something. No, just patrolling. Patrolling? For the serpent. My mind instantly resets, forgetting about stories of muddied uniforms. Why do you call it a rainbow serpent? Because that's what it is. I thought that much would be obvious. And you've seen it before. Once, 3 times now. The once before this week, and it was a long time ago. What is it? That, I don't know. All I know is that it eats people, and when it does, it's like they never existed. Like Max. I choke up for a second before continuing. Last night, it ate my best friend Max. We used to do everything together, but today no one knew that he existed. Even I wasn't sure he was real until I saw that thing again. So you're saying that he was eaten and people forgot about him? Michelle shakes her head. No, more like he's never existed in the first place. People get eaten, they're erased from history. Then why do I remember him? You touched the serpent, right? Not sure how, but that's why. I recall the intense sensation of the void from my contact with the serpent. It really did feel like there was some kind of distorted reality lurking within the beast. So does that mean you... Yep. Michelle toys with her coffee, blowing the cup between her 2 palms. It was my aunt and uncle. They came to visit us after we had just moved there. First night they slept in the living room. A weird noise woke me up and I went down, curious. When I got downstairs, I saw that terrible serpent eating them as they slept. I tried to stop it, but I couldn't. When my parents woke up, they couldn't remember my aunt and uncle were ever in the house, or that they had existed at all. My parents even showed up me their wedding photos to prove it to me. They simply weren't there. They thought I was crazy. Both my aunt and uncle were deleted from history. It's exactly what happened to Max. When I went to his house today, there was some woman living there. No one at school remembers him, like he never existed. For years I thought I was the only one, that I had just made it up, that it was a dream. Is that why you go patrolling? Yes, I need to find it. You've only seen it 3 times. To be frank, I thought I was going crazy. Apart from William, no one else believed me. He's not exactly what most people would call sane. William. Oh, he's a friend. Of sorts. Never mind. Decided to leave that subject alone. How did you find me tonight? Michelle looks away from me, suddenly trying to avoid my questioning gaze. I just did, all right? The young girl sighs for turning back to me. Same as last night. Last night? I saw the light of the serpent, so I went to check it out. She answers quickly, suddenly upset again. Talking with her is difficult. I feel like she'll bite if I word my questions wrong. But I need answers, desperately. Yesterday, did you see what happened? Did you see the serpent eating Max? No, but I believe you. No one else will. Ever. Except me. Guess that makes us Confederates, then. Michelle squirms in the cheap, plastic-covered seat for answering. Those words seem to have cleared her sour mood instantly. I guess. What's next? Next? How do I get Max back? You can't get him back. He's gone. Don't even know what you're talking about, and I'm one of the few people on the planet that will ever believe you. Once you're in the belly of the beast... She makes a disappearing motion with her hands. Just like that. Just like that. Depression washes over me as a wave of memories of Max tumble across my mind. Memories that have been erased from everyone's history. Everyone's, except mine. I suddenly feel alone. Tormented and alone. How can a great person such as Max suddenly cease to exist? Until now, I wasn't ready to accept it, but seeing this dirty, matter-of-fact girl explain things somehow makes me realize this is for real. Max is gone. Dead. Worse than dead. Erased. And I can never talk to anyone about it. I suddenly realized something. How long ago did you say your aunt and uncle were attacked? I didn't, but it's 5 years this summer. 5 years. She would have been about 10. You never told anyone. Yes and no. I told people they thought I was crazy. I didn't know if I dreamed it or not, so I kept my mouth shut. I went patrolling every night. Michelle nods silently. 5 years. 5 years thinking she was crazy. 5 years of sneaking out at night to go and patrol. 5 years keeping your mouth shut about something you desperately needed to talk about. Dealing with death of someone close is painful, like a dagger in the heart. Even I want to curl up and cry for Max, but I know that I can't. Michelle never even got that chance. I recall the sheer terror that flowed through me when I saw the serpent. How on earth would a 10-year-old react to that? Words fail me. Thank you, for helping me out. You're welcome. What now? Same as always, I'm going to keep searching for the serpent. And kill it. Kill it. Thing ruined my life. Yes, I'm going to kill it. How? I don't know, but I'm not going to find out sitting here. Okay, calm down.
According to Tremors, a big gun will, do the trick.
Very big guns tend to have very big effects. And What? She's wrong, man. I can't tell you why or how, but she's dead wrong. So Max is still hanging around in some form or another. I saw like the text color was different. I was like, wait, what? She's dead wrong. It's like the only time he interjected, at least. My harsh whisper calms Michelle down, but I glance over at the counter. Soul Worker is nowhere to be seen. You'd probably start a rock concert and you wouldn't care about the noise. Michelle, however, takes this as her cue and calms slightly. Sorry, I'm a little excited, I guess. It's a wild story. I can understand why no one else would believe you. Well, at least now you do. Kind of don't have a choice at this point. Michelle swirls her cup for drinking the rest of the coffee. Thanks for the drink. At least tonight, we saw that it reacts to terps. We. We're allies now, right? I gulps. I realize I'm being forced into a partnership with this ill-groomed girl. Allies. In any case, it won't be back tonight. I'm sure of that. We should get some sleep. Tomorrow's another day. Michelle seems a little too triumphant. Then again, after 5 years of self-doubt, it would be liberating to know that you were right all along. Patrolling, you mean? Of course. Partner. Partner. The words that's heavy in my mind. But what if she is telling me is true and Max isn't coming back? Then I think I could join her for some revenge. Where do we meet then? Don't worry, I'll find you. See ya. Michelle lets herself out of the restaurant and dissolves into the inky black of night beyond the external lights. I finish my own drink before heading out on my bike. The ride back to my house is painfully lonely, made worse by the realization that I can't publicly mourn my friend. Ever. What Michelle told me appears to be true. No one I know has heard of Max before. If a real person had died, everyone would gather around me and support me. I'd seen it before. When I was in year 7, a senior was killed in a car crash. School practically turned to a therapy center for about a month. I didn't understand why at the time, but I do now. And yet if I bring anything up, I'm going to be sent to therapy. Not to grieve, but to cure my insanity. I sniff back tears as the wind streaks past my face. I hope that my eyes don't give me away when I get home. Thankfully, it appears the house is silent, so I managed to make it to my room without raising suspicion. I stare at the ceiling. It's impossible to get sleep. Tales of rainbow serpents mean nothing to me right now. I replay memories in my mind, trying to place Max's face front and center. The trees we used to climb, jumping off rocks and into the river, riding our bikes out to see the quarry outside of town. The harder I try to focus on his face, the harder it gets to remember his features. I pull out my phone and try to find photos of him, but it's no good. Just as Michelle said, he's been erased from history. I now know that I took photos of us last week, but now some stranger looks back at me from the screen. A new timeline, new friends. What on earth is this? My frustration vents from my mouth involuntarily. I put the phone down on my bedside table and wait for the bluish glow to fade. My room is now practically dark, allowing my mind to generate its own images. I try to force Max's face to the floor, but it's futile effort. All I see is a shifting rainbow of the serpent's skin, its multiple blinking eyes, rows of teeth framing its red, bottomless maw. I shudder. Adrenaline kept me from noticing too many details, but now as my mind recreates the scene, I have no choice. My grief begins to replace with terror as the image swirls around my darkened room. And that sound, like a contained tsunami combined with a thunderstorm, an eternal torrent of noise. I choke up a little as I realize this would have been the last thing that Max saw in this universe. He must have been terrified, alone and terrified. I squeeze my eyes shut and curl up into a ball on my bed. I can feel tears well up behind my eyelids, but I paid them no heed. All I want right now is to hold someone, anyone, and to have them tell me that everything will be alright. This is a bad dream, and that this Michelle was conspiring to make me feel bad. But deep down, I know the truth of my new reality. Max is dead, and I couldn't even lay a finger on the beast that killed him. I couldn't even warn him to run. I feel powerless, useless, scared. Now I understand Michelle's passion. At 10 years old, alone, she wouldn't have had the benefit of self-control that I have. She must have been driven crazy by not knowing what was real and what was implanted by the serpent. At least I have that advantage. Michelle.
Wow. I'm glad it's not just, us then.
Yeah, we're not the only ones cracking under the pressure.
Not to say we're cracking, but not for nothing. It's just a situation where I'm like, okay, what do we believe then?
I guess all we can do is trust our limited memory at this point. It's a pretty big question, though. what does that look like? Like, how far can you trust it? How far does this new reality influence you if you have interacted with the serpent's body? And how and why, you know? She said something about someone else, Liam. Doesn't sound like any name I've heard before. In any case, Michelle's the only person for now that can understand what I'm going through. Not that it makes sleeping any easier. I take some deep breaths and somehow manage to get my silent sobbing under control. Get it together. Getting depressed isn't going to help anyone. That beast is out there and it's going to keep doing this to other people until we find a way to put a stop to it. So that's what we'll have to do. Tomorrow I'll find Michelle and extract every bit of information from her that I can. But until then, let me mourn my friend. Lunch bells ring out, drowning our math teacher's explanation about quadratics. Thank heavens for that. The crowd of my classmates seems somewhat odd to me. Their faces are familiar, and they all seem happy to talk to me. But somehow I'm simply not interested in them. It's like I don't have enough energy to even talk to them. I join them in the quadrangle as we eat our lunch, but I can't get into their conversations. Playful banter simply doesn't excite me anymore. I can't get their jokes. Thankfully, my cloudy attitude leads them to partially ignore me. They acknowledge that I'm there, but don't try to drag me into the conversation. I swallow my tasteless sandwich in peace. Psst. As much as I don't want to be with my friends, I didn't really want to deal with that voice today either. Psst. She's not going to go away. I turn to a classroom window which has been cracked open and see a finger beckoning me towards it. Shoving the remainder of my sandwich in my mouth, I head over towards the window. You're not very good at being discreet, you know. Don't care. Come in here. Give me a sec. Scoop up my bag from the ground and wave to my collected friends. I'm going to the loo. Back soon. Barely register my feeble excuse for returning to their vapid conversation. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. Seeing the classroom practically empty makes it somewhat surreal. You know we're not supposed to be in here during lunch. Michelle's little head peers up from behind the desk at the back of the room. Exactly. Less likely to be disturbed, right? She stands up, a cheesy grin on her face. Surprisingly, her uniform is clean, her hair less tangled than it was last night. Does she start every day looking like a normal student and then get progressively grubbier during patrols? At this point, it doesn't bother me. I suppose you're right. When you said you'd find me, I thought you meant after school. I couldn't wait. Well, I guess this is a little less weird, but we should keep it discreet. It would suck if people started to talk about us. Why? I've got a reputation to protect? Don't your friends think you're hanging out with a younger girl? Her candid attitude puts me off balance. That's not what I meant, only, people talk. It's a small town here. Nothing much happens, meaning that every little action can become a rumor that spreads like wildfire. I prefer to stay under the radar, drifting through the town until I can escape from here and make something of my life. Whatever, let them talk. We have more important things to discuss. Like? Tactics. Tactics. We need to kill that overgrown worm. We don't even know what it is, let alone how we can hurt it. Terps. Terps seem to bother it. I mean, last night, it seemed like you pissed it off instead of hurting it. Are you sure it wasn't just the bottle you threw at it? It's more than you did. I didn't have much time to think of anything. It's better than trying to wrestle it. She's right. Charge in and start throwing punches tactic hasn't really helped. Okay, what are your suggestions then? Not sure. But I realized that maybe Liam would know something. That's why I came looking for you. Liam, you mentioned him last night. Who is this guy? A friend of sorts? Found him in one of my patrols, passed out. Helped him out and he was grateful. We started talking, I'd bring him food and he'd listen to my stories. Wait, bring him food? Yeah, bread, fruit, that kind of thing. I don't mean tell me what food means. I mean, why would you need to bring him food? He's homeless. I'm not sure where he gets his food from, but he always seems hungry. There's just the urge to roll my eyes. Of course, the grotty, weird girl has a homeless friend. Maybe he was the only one she could talk to without calling her crazy. Like, things might be bad with her, but she could at least be superior to one person. Great, Liam the hobo. How exactly is he going to help us? Does a serpent only attack people with homes? Shut up, leave him alone. You don't know him. Okay, maybe I overreacted. Point stands. You mentioned him before, but haven't given me any details. Liam's an elder. At least that's what he tells me. An aboriginal elder. Yeah, what else? When I told him about the attack on my aunt and uncle, he said it reminded him of the stories he heard as a child. So that's why you call it the Rainbow Serpent. That's what he said. He knows it from some old legend. Michelle seems genuinely happy to tell this story. It's almost as if having someone hear her out's enough to cheer her up. Maybe this Liam guy is the only guy to listen to her for the last 5 years. Even if he was just some bum who wanted attention. Ew. Thought of a young girl hanging out with a homeless old man conjures thoughts too horrid to explain to my mind. You were in here friends, just friends. We talk, sometimes, when I can find him. He's usually on the edge of town, so we don't see each other that often. He doesn't like coming into the city, even if he could find food and somewhere to sleep. I try to get him to stay at the shelter sometimes, but he refuses. So, you know, I leave him to his own devices. Sounds like a real fountain of truth you have there. Well, he knows more than you do. Michelle's expression tells me everything I need to know. This is someone that she is connected with. Insulting him is insulting her. Sorry, maybe you're right. In any case, you think that you know something? Wouldn't he have told you by now? I know the other night I didn't even know I had imagined everything. I couldn't remember the details. Now that you're here and the memory is fresh in my mind, you need to come with me. You touched it more than I ever did. Maybe it'll help jog William's memory. I feel bad for hurting your feelings and insulting your friend, so I capitulate. Okay? Guess it couldn't hurt. Great, let's go then. Wait, now? We still have half a day of school. And? Shouldn't we be in classes? Some monster out there killing people and you're worried about your grades? Are you serious right now? Something about her fervor inspires me. In a way, she's right. Stopping a monster is more important than algebra. At least that's how I see it. Got my stuff. No one seems to be paying attention to me today. Let's do it. Michelle brightens up and punches me in the upper arm. That's the spirit? Let's go. What about your stuff? Stuff? You got like books? Forget that. I didn't even bring them. With a laugh, Michelle twirls and heads out the door, her gait confident. I almost have to jog to keep up as she's unabashedly walks straight through the school's gates and onto the footpath beyond. I gulp slightly as I take my first steps outside. Not gone truant before. It's not like I'm the kind of bookworm, but at the same time, I don't want to do anything wrong. Michelle's right. What good will staying in school be if it allows the monster to keep on killing? Isn't that the bigger wrong? Lesser of two evils kind of thing? I grit my teeth and let Max's memory inspire me. No one else should suffer that fate. You know what? I have not checked the history in a while. Let's see if things have gone crazy. Looks like things are pretty normal. Looks like the special time distortions really seem to kick in when the worm is near or when someone references someone who has disappeared. That's the impression I'm getting.
That does seem to be the case, yes.
Michelle's already a fair way down the footpath by the time my feet catch up with my brain and propel me forward. Michelle's pace barely lets up as she leads me east to the edge of town. The houses here are definitely of lower quality than the city center. They're made of old asbestos-laced weatherboard that was popular in the 70s, but totally illegal now. It's a wonder they still exist. Out of sight, out of mind. The lawns are overgrown and dried. Tufts of pale yellow grass jut out from the old brickwork at odd angles. There's even a car propped up in a cinder block in one front yard. Not a person in sight. It's hard to tell if no one lives here at all, or if they simply are used to hiding from the rest of the world. And you say you come here often. Not really, only to meet Liam. He told me that I would have more luck finding the creature near the river than this far out. He said the serpent's a water spirit. Maybe he just didn't want this crazy girl hanging around him. Given my brief interaction with Michelle, that could easily be a possibility. Especially for someone who didn't know that she was telling the truth about the serpent. Then again, water spirit. It seems to make sense. Is that why he lives here, away from the river? Michelle shrugs. I guess. She pushes through the lawn of one of the old houses and into the undergrowth beyond. The dirty uniform begins to make sense. Looks like he should be here. In for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. Great. Coming. I fall through the narrow gap between some dried-out vines that are choking the life out of a pair of trees. Inside is like a cave. The vines have arched over the trees above to form a natural canopy. The ground has been cleared, leaving only bare dirt. A blue plastic tarpaulin is stretched between 4 trees to increase the protection from the rain. Beneath it, an aged sleeping bag sits atop what looks like a yoga mat, surrounded by candy-striped plastic shopping bags bulging with odd shapes. Stench of dried urine and stale wine permeates the air. This is the spot. Before I can finish my thought, the sleeping bag quivers and I jump slightly in shock. Liam, it's Michelle. You'll never believe what happened. Oh, little one. Been a long time since I've seen you here. Tattered sleeping bag turns to reveal a man's face. Canyons of wrinkles stretch across his broad forehead, and his poor poked nose peeks out gently from a forest of his white beard. His eyes, small and intent, seem as sharp as anyone I've ever seen. His unnerving gaze lingers on Michelle only for a moment before turning slightly to examine myself. Who's this one, mate? That's why I came to see you. He's seen it. The serpent, it's back, and it's attacked his friend. We fought it last night as well. sleeping bag rustles to the ground as William stands upright, quickly taking a step towards me and grasping my shoulder with an iron grip. She's not lying, is she, young'un? No, I've seen it too, I think. These movements have startled me, and for a second I can't even begin to think properly. If you asked me to describe the snake, I would have trouble doing so. Deep down I wonder if it really happened at all, but then a sensation of vomiting bile returns. My mind's still organizing itself, shaking off the false memories the serpent planted. Memories of a world without Max, a world where Michelle is simply a social outcast and where I remain a humble student. But these are the false memories I need to suppress if I want to exact my revenge. William shakes me briefly, rousing my senses. Boy, tell me what you've seen. It's hard to explain. It was like a huge worm made of water, but like it was lit from the inside. Teeth, lots of teeth. He attacked it with his bare hands. Twice. Brave one, eh? Not really, just reacting, I guess. Not sure why. Receiving praise from a strange man makes me feel bashful. So the little one, looks like you ain't been fibbing. The shock from William's questioning starts to wear off, and I remember why we came here. Michelle says you know what this thing is? Yeah, mate, it's the rainbow serpent. The Dreamtime story. William's large hand releases my shoulder to slap me square on the back. This one's a smart one, eh? Sit down, young'un, let me tell you the story. Doubtful this man could teach me anything. I find an abandoned milk crate, turn it over, and sit on it. Michelle pulls a rock close to the crate and sits down beside me, perhaps a little closer than I would have sat next to her. Long, long time ago, in the Dreamtime, there was the rainbow serpent. Now that fella be making a mess around here, so old fella, Niambunji, called up the Direwong to fight the serpent. Direwong chased the serpent, but that snake bit the Direwong on its head. That's how that river down there be made. When Direwong got all better, Rainbow Snake had done hidden himself. Direwong searched but couldn't find him. Some say the serpent be hiding to get stronger, and no one but a Direwong can kill the serpent. William pauses, and it takes me a moment to realize he's actually stopped talking. Not that I could make sense of a foreign-sounding names anyway. What's a Direwong? My mouth has been moving before I even realize it. Him be a goanna, mate. Big lizard. That fellow's not been around here for a long time. You don't say. I don't know what to make of it. Sounds like the Aboriginal storytellers that came to school for cultural classes. The story could have been the same as any of them, myths passed down through generations that had lost their original meaning. Then again, the giant snake did seem to be attacking this neighborhood. If you know so much about this serpent and its Direwong, why haven't you seen it? Only dead men and heroes have seen those fellas. I ain't dead and I ain't no hero. I scan around his surroundings. He's right about not being a hero. It would seem that he only barely possesses the bare essentials for life here. Michelle elbows me not so subtly in the ribs. Hear that? You're a hero, Doug? I certainly don't feel that way. And anyway, how do we know about this story has anything to do with what we're seeing? William approaches me and I can smell the day-old liquor leaking through his sweat. You seen a big snake, right, fella? With flaps of teeth and rainbow shining from its belly. You touched him. Took you to another place, yeah? I'm taken aback by his proximity, afraid to answer. Without warning, he reaches out and grabs my shoulder. It feels like a lightning bolt shoots through my body. Memories suddenly become clear. I can see the serpent with perfect vision. Its coils laid on the floor before me in Max's house. Yes, sir. William closes his eyes, tightens his grip on my skin. I can feel a bruise already starting to form. My memory skips back and forth with every twitch of his hand, like someone skipping through a video. I see the serpent rear up and devour Max. Time skips forward and suddenly I'm leaping from the stairwell into the belly of the beast. I want to shut out the memories, but they're out of my control and much clearer than they've been over the last few days. I see him. I see that fella. I see you jump into him. Your friend, Max. Him no longer in this world. He's in that fella's belly for sure. Gone. Okay, now I have to check. Now that we're flipping through time now and the serpent's involved, so any of this could have changed now. Actually, no, this seems relatively normal, actually. Small campsite returns to my vision. That was intense. Yeah, he can be like that sometimes. Now do you believe me? Rub my shoulder gently to relieve the pain. Do I have a choice at this point? Either all of that happened, or you've got access to some serious pharmaceuticals. I study William again. His body might show the scars of a life lived roughly, but his eyes contain some kind of magic. I'm not sure why I didn't see it before. They sparkle with some kind of inner light, pale gold shining through his iris. How do we kill the rainbow serpent? You don't. Only Direwong can kill that fella. When it starts tweaking out, it'll start getting really jumpy. Only a Direwong can kill that fella. Direwong not been in these parts for a long time. Maybe you don't care for us people no more. Maybe you want us all gone, so you're letting that fella tear up this place. No, I heard it. We can do this. You can try, little one, but that fella older than you or me. Ain't no white fella gonna kill a serpent. You told me we could kill it. I don't tell you that. I tell you my story. You just heard what you want to hear. That's bullshit, and you know it is. Tell him, Doug. Tell him what you saw last night. I heard it. It did react. If it's made of water, we need to attack it with fire. You brave little one, but don't get yourself killed. No other fella comes to visit William these days. I'm gonna kill it. Then I'm gonna come back here and prove it to you. William does nothing but laugh, which sends Michelle further into a rage. I'm gonna kill it, then drag its corpse back here to show you. I'm gonna save this town and everyone in it. Then we'll see who's laughing. Michelle, I think you're taking it too far. Michelle pushes me off the milk crate and storms out of the clearing. Better watch that one, young un. She got a hot head. You really think we can't fight it? Fight? Yes. Ain't nothing in this world you can't fight. Kill? That's something different. You ain't got no idea what that fella doing back now, but you don't want you white fellas in that place. Best find out why. Or leave. Liam yawns, washing me in halitosis-laden breath. Better get your girlfriend. I'm gonna sleep. You're right, she was pretty pissed off. Good luck, brave young'un. See you next time. I have to run to catch up to Michelle. My body still feels electrified after the encounter with Liam. I still feel a little violated, like there's been an interloper snooping around my mind. He was able to peer directly into me. I rub my shoulder again to try and shake the feeling. Before long, I see Michelle stomping towards town with a determined gait. Michelle, wait up! She stops indignantly and turns to look at me with disgusted eyes. He's lying, you know. He's always been a pain. What do you mean? He told me that one day I would win, defeat that monster. And now he says it can't be killed? Well, he didn't say that. He said a Direwong could. Direwong my arse. That thing is alive, so it can be killed. I don't want to start a fight with Michelle. Beyond her annoyed facade, I can sense some kind of betrayal. I believe you, and I'll help you, at least as much as I can. Her expression falters. Her upper lip trembles slightly. It's only for a split second, but I see it. Good. Thank you. You're welcome, but I have to ask you something. Try to work out how to phrase the next question. Has Liam been inside your mind? Huh? I mean, has he read your mind? Crept around in there? I tap her forehead as I say the words. Oh, you mean has he read me? Only once when I first met him. Does this feeling go away? Which feeling? Like I've been violated? You jumped into the belly of a phantom snake and you're asking me how it feels to be violated. But yes, it feels weird, but it goes away. I won't let him do it to me again, though. So that means that he really is who you say he is. Some kind of elder? Well, of course. You think of any other reason to go see that guy? He's always drunk or asleep or both. But when he puts it on his eyes, none of that seems to matter. But there's a catch. When he puts on the eyes, he wants to read someone. And that's not going to be me. Eyes. I think I saw that. Some kind of golden shine? Yeah, those eyes. When he's got those eyes on, he's a different person. A liar. He's a liar. Okay, calm down. Just find somewhere to sit and figure out a plan. Fine, but you're buying. Michelle turns to me in a huff, grabbing me by the hand and leading me down the back streets of the town. Oh my, we've already gotten to the hand-holding phase. This is getting quite lewd. Part of me is embarrassed to be led around by this diminutive girl, but something also feels right about it. After the assault from Liam, it feels nice to be touching another person. It's a strange sensation to have to explain. The fact that she isn't reading my mind right now is comforting.
Yeah, getting Vulcan mind melded is supposed to be, kind of shocking.
Yeah, a little upsetting. Looks like we're good. For long, she's dragged me to a quiet corner of a cafe. She impatiently waves a hand at the waitress and orders 2 cups of coffee without even asking what I want. Once the waitress is out of earshot, Michelle leans in conspiratorially. You heard Liam. This is a water spirit. Water evaporates. Get it hot enough and... Michelle gestures in an explosion. How hot is hot enough? I don't know. You're the science guy. Science guy? What gave you that idea? Your sister says you're always studying, so I guessed... They scoff a laugh. I study because I suck at science. If I were good at science, I wouldn't be freaking out about exams. Could you stop?
No, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. Could you stop being so useless? Useless? You threw terps at a ghost. It reacted, didn't it? Okay, I'll give you that. But it didn't catch fire. What, the serpent? No, the terps. Turpentine doesn't spontaneously catch fire. You need some kind of pilot light. Pilot light, right. Waitress approaches and Michelle cuts her train of thought.
How does she not know this?
I don't know. Maybe she just got the wrong idea about how Molotov cocktails work. I don't know. Maybe she has enough sense to not discuss arson in public. I thank her, and to my relief, she departs the table quickly. After you left, William told me something else. He said he doesn't know why the serpent is back, but he seems to imply that it had a reason. Maybe we can find out why it's here of all places, and maybe we can stop it that way. We don't even know where it will attack. How do you think we can work out what it wants? Shouldn't we try to find some kind of similarities between these attacks? Like something connecting the people it killed? You really are a genius, aren't you? What do you mean? Anyone eaten by the serpent is gone. Poof, from history. A part of your friend and my uncle and aunt, we don't even know who's been killed. And even if we did know that, there's no record of them left. Anywhere. Now I understand why you need to study so much. Getting dressed down by Michelle hits home. Of course we know nothing about the victims. Maybe this is part of the point. You're right. I searched through William's words to try to find any shred of an answer. William said that we might not be able to kill it, but we can fight it. I think that is the only real choice that we have, right? If we're fast enough, then maybe we can at least chase it up before it kills anyone. Oh no, I'm gonna kill it, that's for sure. There's no other option. Some way or another, I'm going to kill it. She truly is a mad woman, but somehow I can respect her for that. At any point, she could have given up and hidden this monster from her world, gone about her life in any way she wanted to. She's facing it head on, regardless of the odds. It's clear to me that she won't stop fighting until the serpent, or herself, is gone from this world. A real battle to the death. Okay, count me in. Really? I knew you'd see it my way. Do you think we can get William to help? That old drunk? He wouldn't step foot in the city even if you paid him. Say that his people never came down to the riverside in these parts. They thought it was haunted. Well, they're not entirely wrong, you know. I suppose you're right. In any case, we have to go to him. We need to go to him if we need him. He won't come to us. That's a shame. He seems like he could be a help, I suppose, but we fight with what we got. We know it doesn't like terps. Maybe I need to set it on fire next time. What, you mean you're going to run around with a Molotov cocktail and hope we find it? It'd never work. You're right. She grabs her chin in contemplation, takes a sip of her coffee. It does give me an idea. Are you coming tonight? Coming where? Patrol, you dummy. Oh, right, sure. I'll come to your house at 10. Be ready. Somehow I don't like the idea of her arriving unannounced on my doorstep. I'll have to try and interdict her before anyone else notices she is there. Fine, I'll come out to help you. Just wait across the street and I'll be there. Good, I've got to get ready. I'll see you there, right? Right. With a flash, Michelle's gone, leaving me with a tab for her coffee. That's not the worst thing that could happen. There's just the urge to go back to William. I want to quiz him on as many things as I can, but the lingering sensation in my mind dissuades me. Maybe he really is just a madman living in the woods. Maybe I imagined him reading my mind. Michelle could have easily told him what to say. The light in his eyes could have been the sun's reflection. Don't know what to think anymore. When I was with William, I thought that my memories were clearer. But now, back in the real world, I'm not so sure. Like that tree cave in the bush that was like a bubble around the different world. Similar feeling to the bubble around the house last night. In any case, I'm committed to going out tonight. If I don't, Michelle will beat down my door to get to me. I can't have that. Dad's on my case enough as it is. If he thinks that I'm wasting time on a girl, one in Natalia's grade no less, he'll flip. Then again, I don't want to be dragged into an unwinnable battle. Maybe if we can find out what the serpent's looking for, then we can give it what it wants. Is there a way to bargain with a mythical being? A lot of legends say yes, but generally it doesn't work out very well. Might be better than throwing our lives away fighting ghosts every night. There's no way I'll be able to pass my finals if I'm not at home. But stopping the snake seems more important than that right now. I try and drive my thoughts of exams and school from my mind. This overgrown worm is a threat to the town. Who knows who could be next? What if it took Natalia? Or Michelle? Somehow I don't think that I could forgive myself if it attacked either of them. Newfound Resolves charges me from the inside out. William could be wrong. If we try hard enough, we could find out a way to kill it, or at least chase it off. It only means that Michelle and I need to put our heads together and see what works. Maybe tonight I'll speak to her about what she's tried so far. Part of me starts to get excited. I almost want it to attack again so that we can learn more about it. Somehow kill it. I managed to get home before Mom or Dad. I'm hoping that the school didn't notify them of my recent truancy. Let's have a quick peek. Seems like this is all normal. It's been normal for too long. Something bad's about to happen. I can feel it. I managed to get home from Mom or Dad. I'm hoping that the school didn't notify them of my recent truancy. I've not skipped from school before, so I'm not even sure if they'd notice. But I know there are kids that do it all the time. If they did make some kind of notification, they couldn't get away with it all the time, right? I throw my bag on the dining room floor and open the fridge. William's cave was a long walk from home. I pull a bottle of orange juice from the fridge and slam it shut. And where were you? Shit, Nat, you scared me. What do you mean? Don't try and hide it from me. I know you skipped school. Her eyes cut shreds off me. I'd never been able to lie to my sister, at least not with any efficacy. Yeah, I needed some time to think. About this Max nonsense? I winced at the mention of Max's name. I know that it doesn't matter how many times I explain it, she'll never understand. Yeah, kinda. I think maybe I'm just overdoing the study, maybe. Natalia doesn't look convinced. Sure, I've been pulling long hours in the past trying to study, but she also knows me. I'm not going to stay up too late. Fine, have it your way. Somehow I dodged a bullet, but maybe not. Did you leave with Michelle? Michelle Simon from my class? I tried not to choke on my juice. Why would you think that? She was in the class up until lunch, but then the two of you were nowhere to be seen. Same with yesterday. She disappeared after you left. Are you two, like dating or something? This time I really do choke on the orange juice. The tart liquid clogs my sinuses. Well, no, it's not like that. So you are leaving with her. Damn, she's good. Well, yes, but it's not what you think. Two teenagers leaving school at lunchtime. You have a hard case to defend there. I know how it looks. And you're right. I've been leaving school with Michelle. But we're not together. Nothing like that. She's trying to help me. My brain races to complete this sentence. Sort out what's been going on in my head. Doug, don't you start smoking weed. It's hard enough living in this town that you're starting to smoke like the rest of them. I knew she was a bad influence. No, that's not it. Michelle doesn't smoke either. Then why is she so weird all the time? That's a little harder to explain. She understands what I'm going through. She believes me. I want to believe you, Doug, but you're acting crazy now. You know that, right? You need real help, not advice from the class weirdo. Real help can't help me now. Bullshit. She's dangerous, a bad influence. If you want a girlfriend, ask me to help. Anyone but her. What have you got against her? This is the side of Natalia haven't seen before. She's usually positive about everyone. Never seen her get this worked up about anyone before. Even though I have my own doubts about Michelle, these empty insults irk me. I don't have anything against her. I tried to get close to her, but I couldn't. She pushes everyone away from her. She has nothing in common with anyone. That's not you, Doug. Part of me wants to fight back, but when I see how concerned my little sister is, I can't help but concede. Maybe you're right. Maybe she's just a little misunderstood. In any case, we're not dating. It's more like hanging out, I guess. Natalia's expression softened slightly, but I can see the concern in her eyes. I think that you shouldn't do that. Nothing good can come of it. I wish that she wasn't like that, but she is. You've been so weird recently. Don't want you turning into her. Stifle a laugh. I don't know what Natalia had a side like this. Then again, I guess it's my fault. I can't explain anything to her. Maybe I could try. What was that? Dead Max? Do it, man. She's smarter than you. Why is he listed as Dead Max? What the heck? A shudder winds its way down my spine. What if explaining to her makes her a target? I couldn't live with myself and made Natalia a target of the serpent. What if Michelle's actions don't kill the serpent, but piss it off? What if it comes for revenge? I feel that too familiar bile rising in my stomach. It feels like it's eating away my soul at the thought of losing my family. I need to make sure she doesn't get dragged into this. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Huh? Doug, you really need some help. Do you want me to help you talk to Mom and Dad? Nah, that's not it. I think I just need some rest. You're really beginning to worry me. Can you just promise that you won't, do her? What? No! Of course not! Wow, that escalated really fast. That's at least something. And no drugs? None, I swear. If I find out you've been lying to me... Natalia holds up a fist in challenge, but I can see that she doesn't mean it. The concern hasn't left her eyes. Look, give me a week. If I can't work anything out in a week, you can tell Mom and Dad everything. Skipping school, Michelle. I'll even do a drug test. But I need you to at least give me a week. Okay, 1 week. That's it. I pulled her into a quick hug, rustling her hair in the act. I knew I could count on you. You're a clown. Natalia pulls herself away from me and leaves the kitchen for her room. The bile starts to subside. Bought myself a week. It's not much time, but we need to start moving fast to understand the serpent. If anything happens to Natalia, then I'm going to jump into that snake's mouth and destroy it from the inside myself. Probably bad plan, just saying. I sit in my room, staring blankly at my textbooks. Polynomials simply don't seem real to me anymore. Mythological creatures suddenly taking up more of my headspace than the real world in front of me. Any other day, and I'd assume that I was high or something. But this is real. Too real. William's reading has brought clarity to my memories, and I can clearly see the wash of the serpent's colors blitzing across my mind. And those teeth, infinite rows of teeth to drag its victims down into the gulf of its belly. It terrifies me. Part of me wishes that it ate me as well on that fateful night, so I wouldn't have to think about it. Pull yourself together. Whoa. Pull yourself together. It was Doug's name tag, and it switched to Max's very suddenly. I was like, damn, dude. What? Now he's just Max again. Why was he dead Max there? What the heck? I guess in a way I'm the chosen one now. There's no backing away from that. The snake could devour everyone in the city and no one would be the wiser. I can't let that happen. This thing is clearly alive. It has some form of purpose. If we can't kill it, we can probably limit the damage. Maybe chase it out of town? I need to learn more about it. There's nothing helpful on the net. The Dreamtime stories are just that. Stories. Legends. Centuries of mistranslations and interpretations have left them nothing but fables. Tall tales of creatures crawling across the land, carving the rivers into existence and turning themselves into islands when they die. The rainbow serpent is one of the most widely spread legends of them all. I tried looking for William's direwong, but there's even less. A goanna that fought the serpent and got bitten. Hardly helpful. That worm barely has a head to speak of, only those red eyes and limitless teeth. I shut down the computer in disgust. I'm not going to be finding any answers on Wikipedia. If I want to defeat the beast, we're going to need to do it ourselves. Michelle's been chasing this thing for years. Maybe she has more up her sleeve. But then again, she seems a little unstable, a little untrustworthy. Sometimes I get the sense that she's got some kind of ulterior motive for hanging around me. That killing the serpent is secondary to some other agenda. Never mind. I have a mission. I need to stop the serpent for good. Do whatever it takes to make sure it doesn't erase anyone else in this town from history. Or the world. What if this beast was the beginning of the end of humanity? Could it eat its way to the last human? I shudder at the thought of a lifeless world spinning through the universe without a trace of humans ever existing. Not even ruins to show that we were once here. My phone vibrates, startling me a little. It's time. 9:45. Don't want Michelle knocking on the door, so I lock the door to my bedroom and creep out the window. The sun is set, and I can feel the spring air already cool around me. Not quite cold enough to warrant a jacket, but enough to be slightly uncomfortable. I sit under my windowsill, watching the street for an approaching girl. My mind starts to wander again, but this time it's about school. I never really skipped on school before. I thought the world would fall down around me, but I guess they don't care. Our learning is our own responsibility. That's what they say, at least. Teachers seem happy to put effort into kids that want to learn. They save their energy on those that don't. I check my phone. Michelle's late. Didn't expect that of her. It's not until 10:10 that I see a shadow shuffling around the corner of my vision. In the dark of the night, I finally see Michelle, a large bundle slung over her shoulder. She looks like she's struggling. I don't want her causing a scene near my house, so I rush towards her. What have you got there? Nothing. Supplies. It doesn't matter. I smell turpentine and kerosene on her. Can we get going? I was thinking that we needed to cover more ground, so I took these. Proudly hold up my dad's car keys. If we want to be able to catch this beast, we need to move fast. What do you think? Michelle is ecstatic. You can drive? Kind of, I guess. Does that matter? What's more important, following the rules or catching this thing? Michelle purses her lips and nods in approval. Good. This is good. Let's do it. I quietly enter the car as Michelle loads her bulky supplies into the boot. I hear sloshing and clanking, but I don't risk asking about them again. As long as the car doesn't stink when I put it back tonight. I have only had a couple of practice drives with Mom, but I think I have the hang of it. But this is going to be dangerous AF. The roads are mostly empty at this time of night. As long as we don't get pulled over, we should be okay. Michelle finished fiddling in the back of the car, takes her seat, and closes the door. I was thinking that we could go to the top of that hill near the river and keep an eye out. If we see anything, we can speed there. Sounds good? Michelle is still excited. Sure, beats walking. And this little bit of larceny will keep her tattered uniform from getting any worse. I'm not sure why I care about that, but for some reason I do. I think Natalia's overreacting. Michelle's been through a lot in her life. Of course she seems withdrawn and weird. Anyone who suffered that kind of trauma at such a young age is bound to have that kind of mental issue. But if at least we succeed in subduing the serpent, maybe she'll be able to get some kind of closure. Be able to break free of the shadow that's been cast over her whole life, just as it has mine. In the end, I really do feel connected to her in a way. Right then, let's go. I fearfully turn the key and shudder as the ignition starts the engine. I really hope the dad doesn't notice. He'd be furious. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? I ease on the accelerator and the car lurches out of the driveway onto the road. You sure you know how to drive this thing? Yeah, I'll be fine. I nurse the car along the empty streets towards a small hill overlooking the houses lined up along the river. When I was young, there was a big flood every other year. Then the government strengthened the dam upstream. Since then, there haven't been any major floods. They had to release some water from time to time, but it seemed to be under control. As the danger subsided, people started building closer and closer to the river. New developments popped up to support the town's growing population, rows and rows of identical kit homes. A few of my friends from school lived in them. The houses always smelt new, like a new car smell, house edition. Wonder if you can buy it in shops. No, you really can see most places from up here. Michelle peers through the windshield as I park on the car on the side of the street and shut down the engine. How long do you think it would take us to get to a house if we saw it? Dunno, a couple of minutes? Never driven from here to there before. Michelle seems to sigh a little. How did you patrol in the past? I had a route. I'd leave home and walk around the town. If I saw anything, I'd chase it down. Did that work? I guess not. Then again, I found you, didn't I? Suppose you did. Did she mean the last time you saw the serpent? Somehow I feel that's not the case. Maybe because I can't figure out the meaning behind that sad note in her voice. I shake my head slightly. It's not important. We need to get more systematic. If we want to work out the serpent's motive, we need to know where it's attacking and why. If we don't know who it is attacking, that will be harder. You're right, but how do we do that? Not sure. Maybe we need to start marking the attacked houses on the map, see if they line up. Michelle reaches into her pocket and pulls out her phone. You mean like this? Shows me a map app with 3 pens in it. Thought about that, but I can't see anything. Can you? She's right. Something to line up or something, but the only 3 points, it's a little hard to work anything out. Guess we need to wait until we get a few more points. As much as I hate the thought, perhaps another attack would let us unravel the mystery a little further. Any other ideas? Michelle seems genuinely interested in hearing my thoughts. None for now, sorry. Tried looking up that stuff that William was saying, but it's all pretty vague. Each tribe seemed to have its own version of the Rainbow Serpent story. None of them seemed real. You know, when you hear a legend that was at least partially true, you can kind of tell, like stuff around solar eclipses or floods or comets. The Rainbow Serpent always seems like some kind of pure fantasy, like the Greek gods. I think I know what you mean. So I really have no idea what this beast is here now, for real. Maybe it's always been here. Huh? But then we would have heard of it, right? Michelle rolls her eyes. Serpent deletes you from history, totally. So if it ate everyone in this town, no one would ever know. Realization hits me like a freight train. Maybe this town is just the most recent and never-ending loop of towns that were settled, devours, and forgotten. No one would ever be the wiser. Mythical beast could have been here all along. But then why would it allow the town to get this big? Dunno, maybe it needs to eat a lot? You said you've been patrolling for what, 5 years? It never attacked in that time? And now twice in 1 week. My mind spins as I try to find the pattern that I know is hidden out there somewhere. It's not like I could have covered the whole town every night. Might have missed it. Besides, I don't see you doing anything much. She looks genuinely upset, as if I've insulted her. I reach across the car and put a hand on her shoulder. I didn't mean it like that. Only that if it was waiting for enough people to feed on, why did it only attack once and then wait 5 years? Michelle's mood lightens only a little bit, but at least she calms down. Maybe you're right. Her gaze lingers on me for a moment before returning to skiing the town before us. I decided to leave the harder questions about rainbow serpents for the moment and join her in the survey of the scenery. We sit in silence for some time before Michelle's quiet voice startles me slightly. I think I remember him, you know? I look at her expectantly, frowning. She shots me a nervous glance. I think we have a typo there. Shoots, I should think. A nervous glance that quickly turns back to the windshield. She couldn't have meant Max. I suddenly feel so happy, as if he came back to life with those words. The serpent has failed. He has not been erased. Someone else remembers him as well. How come? You knew Nat, but I don't think he hung out with anyone else from her class. Michelle lets out a short laugh. He hit on your sister, didn't he? My mouth opens and closes without a word, but I can't help but smile. Michelle chuckles again and continues talking. She must have noticed that I want to know more. Now, talking about Max puts me in this weird mood. Fresh grief mixed with relief. If you only knew how many boys came over just to say hello to her. It's hilarious. Anyhow, I didn't talk with Max much. We met in the library, and he noticed that I was writing something. Don't laugh, okay? He pestered me about it, and I let him read it. At first, he was being a dick, but when he realized that I was getting seriously upset, he changed his tone. He gave me some advice, told me which parts he liked. I guess he was trying to be nice to a weirdo sitting alone. Michelle shrugs, finishing her story. I can't manage anything else to my tightening throat. He gave her some writing advice? Seems I had even more in common with Michelle than I thought. Silly fan fictions we wrote together. Were they still in the box behind my wardrobe? Or did they disappear with him? Michelle awkwardly pats my back, and I realize that I'm on the verge of tears just sitting there, a painful smile plastered on my face. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have brought him up. No, it's a weird feeling, but not a bad one. Guess I'm glad someone else remembers him too. We'll avenge him, don't you worry. Her battle mode is back on. She pats me for the last time, stronger. I nod, returning the wicked smile. She certainly deserves it. I'm sure you wouldn't want anyone to get hurt either. I couldn't save him, but I could still prevent from another disaster from happening. Just as I feel my motivation growing, Michelle lets out a yawn. Looks like we're out of luck tonight. It's warm in the car, makes me sleepy, but yeah, maybe you're right. Fire up the car again, the engine loud in the still of the night. An uneventful patrol, but that at least means no one had to die tonight. Stop and have a look. Don't let her play you! Oh, that's interesting. Max apparently has some... She's making this up. Dude, she's lying. Whoa, where is this coming from? Yeah, Max has some opinions on this conversation. Ah, man, I thought I could trust her and everything, and now I'm not so sure. It's like the rest of the conversation played out normally, but when Max came up, suddenly... So she made all that up for some reason, or at least Ghost Max seems to think so. An uneventful patrol, but at least means no one had to die tonight. Tomorrow maybe we should bring a laptop and look up anything that's changed in the last few years. Sounds good. I'm going to drop you off at your place? No, that's okay. Your place is fine. I'll walk from there. Suit yourself. Can you look after my stuff? I almost forgot about the bulky bag in the back of the car. Sure, I'll put it in the shed. Great. I pull the car gently into the parking space in front of our house. Hopefully no one will notice that I couldn't line it up too well. Same time tomorrow? Sure. Michelle flashes me a smile, then jogs off into the darkness of the street, leaving me behind her equipment. I take a peek inside the sack, but all I can see is a collection of pipes and bottles. I'm sure it makes sense to her. Stash the sack in our garden shed and slip back to my bedroom window before tumbling into bed. My head feels a little clearer, even as I drift off to sleep. Another human being remembered Max. He existed. He was my friend. I did not make him up. Confirming all this makes the pain of the loss sharper, but I can't help but welcome it. It's better than the confusion I felt for the last couple of days, and I can't help but feel grateful to Michelle for it. Now I'm like, is Max saying anything else? Like, before I can even close my eyes, I hear a light rapping on my door. Come in? Talia creeps into my room with a stern look upon her face. A sense of guilt washes over me. I can see it in her face. She knows what I've been up to. I can explain, just not now, okay? No, it's not okay. You have a chance to do something with yourself. You're throwing it away on that girl. That's not what it's about. Trust me, if I didn't have to go out, I wouldn't. It's something that must be done. Nella puts her hand for me to stop, her face quivering with a combination of rage and tears. Stop. Just stop. You don't know what you're getting into. She's really disturbed. There's rumors that she killed a snake in the schoolyard and cut it open. You could do so much better. I'm conflicted. Part of me wants to defend Michelle, but I can't do that without making Natalia think I'm crazy. The only excuse I have for sneaking out at night to see a girl if we're not dating. Natalia has put me on the spot, and I have nowhere to go. Look, how about you tell me all you know about her? Natalia nods and sits down on my bed, the sprung frame creaking at the weight of two people. She always kept to herself. No one knows why. Even in group work, she does the bare minimum to not get in trouble, but that's it. She's absent all the time, just doesn't show up after lunch or comes in late. Sometimes you can tell she hasn't showered. When she asks to do a presentation, it's always on weird shit. One time she lectured us on Aboriginal culture for a science presentation. That doesn't make her a bad person. Natalia shakes her head. You don't get it. Some people are weird, some are shy, some are just stupid. She's malicious. I can't explain it, but there's something in her eyes. Like you read about with serial killers. There's this urge to laugh. Natalia's clearly taking this seriously, but at the same time, she's going over the top. What if I'm wrong about Michelle? Natalia's known her longer than I have. She disappeared in my world a few days ago. Natalia would have been dealing with her for years. I still had no idea exactly what I was stashed in our garden shed, but I know for sure it's related to her obsession with petrochemicals. Doubt begins to creep into my mind. What if her contact with the serpent has turned her into a psychopath? Or is that the fate of everyone that stares into the infinity within the beast? I shudder at the thought. Then I remember her awkward smile and pat on the back when I was talking about Max. Self-mockery when she admitted to everyone thinking she was a weirdo. She wasn't twisted, just a regular girl, tormented by a past she couldn't explain to anyone. She wasn't there for me. If she hadn't explained to me all those things about the serpent, I'd probably just go mad myself. But Nat would never understand that. No matter what I say, she's known Michelle far longer. There's no way I could convince her. Can only try to put her mind at ease. I don't think it's that bad. That's what everyone says about those murderers. He was such a normal guy. We never expected anything. That might be true, but it's not like we're dating. We're working on something together, but I can't tell you about it. Once it's done, we're Splitsville. Promise. What's something? I can't slip anything past her. Nothing. I can't tell you. You wouldn't understand. Try me. My mind races to find an excuse, but nothing but flimsy half-truths come to mind. Something floats to the surface. It's half-arsed, but it'll have to do. It's the Duke of Edinburgh's award. The what now? The Duke of Ed Award. Remember they did a presentation at school earlier in the year? You do a bunch of things, you get a certificate. It helps you get some universities. It's like scouts, but without the uniforms and salutes. I'm glad I remembered that much. I only attended the presentation because Max thought it would be a good way to skip an English lesson. We goofed around in the back of the hall until it was over, grabbed our bags, and left without signing up. You need to do a volunteer thing, so Michelle's helping me with a Meals on Wheels thing. I trail off, watching Natalia's face for a reaction. Deadpan eyes come back at me. I can see her processing the thought. She answers. You're doing this to get into uni. Feeding the homeless? Yeah. In the middle of the night? Well, yeah, when else could I do it? With a psychopath who barely says a word to another person in school. I saw her there and asked how I could help out. Silence again fills my storage room cum bedroom. I can see Natalia poring over my lie, looking for a crack in the armor. For a moment I think she's going to call my bluff, but her shoulders finally sag in defeat. Look, I don't know what you're on about, but you haven't been yourself this week. You've been skipping school, acting like a maniac, sneaking out at night. You're just not you recently, and you're scaring me a little. If something were to happen to you, I don't know how I could go on. I see she's holding back tears. I can sort of see where she's coming from. I'm sure that she's getting these suicide watch lectures in her health classes, and it's probably playing on her mind. I think we're late enough in the episode for me to get away with saying that. Not that we know anyone else who was moved to Brazil, but then again, there's a first time for everything. You don't have to worry about me. I'm doing all this so I can get out of this backwater town. I want to go to a big uni somewhere and do something with myself. So I need every boost that I can get. It's better to wrap a lie in some truth. I do want out of this place, but at the same time, I haven't really done much towards that end. Now I'm fighting some phantom wizard with a psychopath. It doesn't seem like a wise career path to me. But something that needs to be done. And maybe a psychopath is what I need to help me do that. Okay, just get away from Michelle as soon as you can. Get this Duke of whatever thing out of your system, then get away from her before she gets attached. I promise. I'll hold you to that. Don't you dare sleep with her. I feel my cheeks turn red hot as I blush at the suggestion. Never! You don't need to worry about that. Okay, good night. Night. Natalia stands up from my bed, sending squeaky creaks to the silent room. As she disappears into the hallway, I ponder her concern. Sure, I haven't been myself, but she's normally never said anything bad about anyone before. It's unnerving. So far, I blindly followed Michelle's directions. Maybe she has been wrong about this the whole time. Maybe she's leading me astray somehow, or that there's some ulterior motive to her actions. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk a bit on tomorrow's patrol. Natalia doesn't know the whole story. How could she? And without that, of course someone like Michelle would look like a psychopath. Then again, killing snakes sounds like something she would do. I lay down and pull my blankets over me, hoping that sleep will swallow me quickly. Tomorrow is another day. Another chance to find out what that snake is up to. Try and put an end to this before anyone else has to be trapped in this limbo. But my mind refuses to calm down. I'm treated to swirling images of rainbow-like skin, and of a firebrand girl hurling bottles of chemicals around the place. I wrestle the monster again, watching Max die on the side, his face bloodied. I keep struggling, but there's just no use. I have no control over what's happening, and I can't save him. The fire dies down, the darkness surrounds me. Only the gurgling of water remains, filling my ears. And suddenly I can see someone above me. A washed-out memory resurfaces as I drift off into sleep. A young girl checking my forehead, asking if I'm fine. Her voice seems familiar. I try to see her face in the darkness of my room and finally notice the faint outline of Nat's cheeks, her mouth twisted with worry. She sits on my bed as I fall asleep, watching over me. And that's where we're going to stop for now.
Hmm.
I'm going to say I am very into this. This is a very cool concept done in a very fun way. I haven't had to make any choices, and it may be a linear visual novel. Yeah, dude, try her. Like, so Max is kind of our ever vigilant companion, so that's going to be something to watch out for. Yeah, no, this has been really interesting, delving into the whole erased from time element and the mystery surrounding both the missing people, the serpent, and our newfound companion, who I now kind of have a few extra doubts about. Not really because of Natalie, but because of Max's input on her, which our protagonist is blind to, but again, we'll have to see how that develops. Thoughts so far, Master Nitaku?
I like it. There's, yeah, I kind of feel bad now that like I had to step away a couple times
Oh no, you're
for various
perfectly
things,
fine.
and I feel like I may have missed some context, but it is very interesting. And hey, spectral time devouring, spirit snake is very interesting. I am, this might shock you. I am not one for Aboriginal folktales. Honestly, I don't find oceanic folklore all that interesting, mostly just because there really isn't that much about it.
Right.
But, it is very interesting the way they, are presenting it. And the entire, remove something from history and then see kind of the butterfly effect from that is very fascinating, especially considering that it seems like even though he's quote unquote gone, Max seems to have a lot of opinions.
He does,
So.
yes. He seems to be, and like, the thing that's weird is like some of his stuff is marked with his name tag, and there was one during the conversation with Natalia where he's marked as dead Max, and I'm like, is that two different people now, or like, is that a joke? Is that some kind of weird like meta commentary? Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm super into it. I definitely want to see where this continues developing. So leave a comment down below if you guys are watching to the end and let us know your conspiracy theories for where this is headed. I'd be very curious to know, and we will see you guys next time.